is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Michael Wallace. Operation Epic Fury is underway. The U.S. and Israel have launched attacks on Iran after it refused to rein in its nuclear program. Iran has responded with missile and drone strikes on Israel and other U.S. allies in the region. CBS News has confirmed Iranian missiles targeted U.S. military bases in Jordan and Bahrain. President Trump posted a video on social media.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
The first strike was on Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's compound in Tehran. Trump is urging Iranian civilians to rise up and take over their government.
For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries.
The president warns some Americans may be killed.
The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission.
U.S. embassies have issued shelter-in-place alerts for American citizens in Israel, Bahrain, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. John Donison with CBS's broadcast partner, the BBC, is in Jerusalem.
We awoke to the sound of sirens going off across Jerusalem and across Israel. This was apparently an initial warning, I suppose, to expect some sort of retaliation in the coming hours and days from the Iranians. We've had this statement from Israel's Defense Minister, Israel Katz, saying that a state of emergency has been declared across the country because Israel has carried out what he called a preemptive strike against Iran.
CBS's Olivia Gazis reports the U.S. is telling Americans in several Middle Eastern countries to shelter in place.
The U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, urged Americans in the country to stay close to shelters. We've also seen the U.S. Embassy in Qatar issue a shelter-in-place advisory for all U.S. government personnel and American citizens there. Doha hosts the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East, which is a significant and potentially symbolic retaliatory target for Iran.
Again, Iran has launched missiles at U.S. bases in Bahrain and Jordan. Explosions have also been heard in Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Recapping our top story, the U.S. and Israel have launched attacks on Iran. Iran has responded with missile strikes on Israel and U.S. military bases in Bahrain and Jordan. If you're planning a trip, be sure to think about how easy or hard it might be to get around your destination.
Helsinki, with well-designed public transport as well, followed by Valencia in Spain, where more than 26% of the locals choose to walk. Same with Vienna. Abu Dhabi is not a walking destination, but public transport and inexpensive taxis make the difference. And the toughest cities to navigate? Delhi in India, Lima in Peru, Bogota in Colombia, Houston, and not surprisingly, Los Angeles. Peter Greenberg, CBS News.
Police in South Fulton, Georgia, are urging parents to double-check the school lunches they pack for their children after a martini in a can was spotted in a lunchbox at an undisclosed school. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. For more than a decade, I've been working with CertaPro Painters doing great work for me, and now is the time. Get a free estimate, get on the schedule at the right price. You never have to wonder what's next with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Every family vacation looks different. Maybe this year it's ocean waves in Myrtle Beach. Maybe it's lake mornings in Deep Creek. Maybe it's palm trees and turquoise water in St. Thomas. Wherever your next memory takes you, SWAC Vacation Rentals has the space, comfort, and experiences that bring everybody together. And when you book direct, you get the best homes at the best price without the extra fees. Start planning your next trip at SWAC, SWACK vacations.com. That's SWACvacations.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have clouds and sun today, a nice afternoon with a high up to 57. Cloudy tonight with a little snow and rain at times late. No accumulation, low down to 29. Mostly cloudy and colder tomorrow, high 37. Bit of snow on Monday, high up to 39. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, good morning. As you've been hearing throughout the night with our colleagues at CBS Radio News, President Trump confirms joint attack on Iran. Well, he simply said we're not going to put up with the regime's mass terror any longer. We've been talking about this for days on the evening show and, of course, here on the weekends. And I was even telling my audience via my social media platform during some stuff from the home studio the last couple of days that this was going to happen. And it has to happen. And you know my support for Israel. It will be with me the rest of my time on this earth. But it's much more than this. It's about what Iran has been doing for decades, going back to the Ayatollah Khomeini and those hostages that were taken during the Carter administration. And all I can say is it's long overdue. They have played cat and mouse with the world forever, putting us on the edge of terror and fear whenever their heart desired. And yes, after those airstrikes that took place months back, in which the president said it was all about stopping and curtailing their nuclear weapons that they were trying to produce in mass production, and still recently, after all of that and promises of backing down, they just continue to ramp up. President warned them, even basically said it could happen very soon. Some in that administration were hinting towards Saturday, giving them every opportunity during recent negotiations that he was discussing as recent as the State of the Union address that you heard earlier last week on KDKA. But they didn't listen. So now they're going to have to pay the price. And let me just say this. The thing that really was the tipping point, and I believe that the president made up his mind when this started to happen. You know, a lot of these third world countries that have deep pockets because of their oil reserves, stupid money, as I like to call it, they use it to create and generate weapons of mass destruction. And in this case, nuclear weapons, an armament that could have given them the opportunity to destroy anybody around the world, even the United States of America. And the people who call Iran their home, good, honest, hardworking, faith families every day, trying to put their best foot forward, cannot make enough to feed, clothe, or house their families. So they did what most people do in a state of normal when you get an opportunity to speak up, to let the government hear what you have to say, and whether they respond or not is one thing, but having the right to do that is everything. But in Iran, recently, when these protesters simply wanted them, meaning the government, to know where they were, they murdered them by the thousands in cold blood. As their blood spilled into the streets, everybody around the world just sat back, except our president, who spoke out. And now action has taken place. I want to keep those thoughts and prayers definitely going for everybody involved, but this is something that was long overdue. I want to get your thoughts on this today. This is the big story. This will probably keep us going until 7 o'clock today. And there's no other alternative but to simply say they have to go. And I've tried to get some sleep last night. It didn't work. My phone was all night long. People that listen to the show and can get a hold of me through direct messaging and various means were just responding from all over the country. And some have very strong feelings for it. Some have very strong feelings against it. This took the Epstein files off of the front page. And it's also giving us an opportunity to talk about something that I think is as important, if not more so, than just about anything else happening in the world today. This is Iran. This is a conflict that could spill over, although I think it's more like Saddam Hussein's supposed fifth largest army in the world that we eradicated within hours. I think Iran has bitten off more than they can chew. And I think this could destroy Iran's government as they know it, which would not be a bad thing. But as I have said, my biggest fear is even if Ukraine survives, and we're praying that they do, that we have to get involved with rebuilding and also helping their government. We cannot do this in any place in the world. As sad as it may be, as much as we would like to help out, one of the reasons why the Venezuelan government has pretty much moved forward without our intervention, because we just can't. We have no timetable to do it. Our country is in such dire need of being straightened out right now that we don't have time to focus on anybody else, anywhere, any place, anytime. But I want to get your thoughts from the heart about how you feel about this. Are you worried about a world war? I'm not. I don't think Iran's that big of a foe. If we would have let them continue down that nuclear path, it would have gotten really ugly. And it could have been, the next thing you know, recently the news with Cuba, an American involved in those that were shot and killed on that boat, that Cuba was saying they were terrorists speeding towards the coast of Cuba. If Iran could have bartered a deal with somebody like Cuba, just to revisit the Bay of Pigs many years ago when Russia tried to do that, the only thing that has really stopped Iran is the inability to launch these missiles, meaning these nuclear weapons, to the United States. Anywhere in Europe already is go, but they could not get to the United States. So one of the reasons why they were tiptoeing very slowly and quietly, walking on eggshells, if you will, to try to do it under the darkness of night, because they didn't want that big bad wolf that we are barking back at them. But what they did, they basically gave a smoke and mirror performance when it came to these negotiations. And then they murdered and killed people of their nation in cold blood for no other reason other than protesting about not having enough to live while they were spending billions on trying to build these weapons of mass destruction. You see, the thing is, Iran doesn't even have the capability to run their own country. So what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to take a country and try to run it or implement their policies or their beliefs in that government? No. They're looking at this as the end of times, annihilation. They look at the afterlife as the life. They just love the thought process of being able to, even if it costs lives on their part, even their own lives, that they can take you out. They can destroy you. They don't like what we have in the West. They don't like how we give people an alternative on how they want to live. So that's why I stress so much that people in this country should take time to appreciate what this country has to offer instead of pointing fingers and poo-pooing our country. We live in the most powerful, greatest nation in the world. And you may not agree with the president, but I was watching his speech early this morning. This man has had enough. He has warned Iran over and over and over. But what this also does, it sends message to the Chinese government, to the Russian government, and to other foes around the world. Even these drug cartel leaders that are shooting up Guadalajara, Mexico, and bombing buildings and firebombing cars because one of theirs was shot and killed, killing innocent people in their path. New sheriff in town. This stuff is over. So this is another reason, at least we have somebody in the White House who is standing tall and being strong. No one should ever support a country that kills their own in cold blood simply for protesting because they want to feed their children. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM AM 1020 KDKA on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can also watch us online with the KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to KDKRadio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream. And now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page and watch everything we are doing in the studio. By the way, we have one line available if you want to jump in here. Open talk until 7, 866-391-1020. And NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows a click away. Email us at instantAccess, KDKRadio.com. Good morning.
Time now for a Black History Month Spotlight.
Today we honor Lynn Hayes Freeland, a Pittsburgh native. Hayes Freeland was a constant presence in our lives for decades, keeping the community informed, inspired, and connected. Over nearly half a century in television and radio, including 30 years as a reporter on KDKA-TV. And as host of the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show, she became a true icon of Pittsburgh media. Hayes Freeland made history as the first African American to host a full-time weekday radio show on KDKA Radio, breaking barriers and opening doors for future generations of journalists. She was the eyes and ears within the community, delivering stories with integrity, insight, and a voice that mattered. Today, we celebrate Lynn Hayes Freeland not only for her groundbreaking career, but for her lasting impact on journalism, representation, and the Pittsburgh community.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDK yesterday in the girls 1A game. It was Sarah Catholic over Geibel 47-46. Boys 2A, Swickley Academy defeated Jeanette 52-38. Girls 5A, South Fayette over Thomas Jefferson 57-38. And in the 6A boys title game, it was the Upper St. Clair Panthers over Newcastle 52-51. Today, coming up beginning at 11 o'clock, Class 2A Girls Championship action to be heard on KDK Radio. It's top seed Neshannock taking on Winchester Thurston. At 1 o'clock, Class 3A Boys Championship, number 2 Aliquippa versus number 8 South Allegheny. At 3 o'clock, 4A Girls Championship, number 1 Blackhawk against the second-seeded Oakland Catholic. And at 5 o'clock, Class 6A Girls Championship, top-ranked Cannon Mac taking on Norwin. And at 7 o'clock tonight in the Class 5A Boys Championship, number 1 Chartiers Valley goes against number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson. Pitt taking on Cal today at 4 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. Duquesne will take on St. Louis. Penn State and Iowa tip-off at noon. Robert Morris and Cleveland State, WVU and BYU. Penns and Rangers today at 12:30. Bucks and Baltimore. Bucks get a win 6-1. And coming up today at 1 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan, more spring training baseball. It's the Bucks and Houston. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Burgh with 6 Pittsburgh locations, always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio. Looking for a unique night out in Pittsburgh? Don't miss Pop Couture, Fashion, Fame, and Obsession. It's a high-energy mix of dance, music, and jaw-dropping style, making its Heinz Hall debut Monday, April 20th. Part of Pittsburgh Earth Day's Ecolution Gala. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghearthday.org/ecolution.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
New to Medicare, get covered with MediConnect. Listen Wednesdays around 1:40 to hear Lance O'Brien of MediConnect help you navigate the Medicare process. Simply great, unbiased information to get you the best healthcare coverage. Get covered with MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
Ready for custom window treatments? You've got options. At Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory, the Lachina family has been serving Pittsburgh homeowners for over 60 years. Choose from custom blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies made in Lachina's own factory and tailored to your home. Enjoy Lachina's free shop at home service or visit one of Lachina's 2 convenient locations in Dormont or Wexford. Call 412-665-4900. That's 412-665-4900. Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory. The quality you deserve.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Hey, again, if you know somebody in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now, KDKARadio.com, to be honored this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes event. So do you like the idea that these military operations are underway in Iran? Big picture, what do you think? This will be the lead story today because it is the big story, and we'll have the latest from CBS Radio News, bottom of the hour. Then, of course, Rob Taylor will begin top and bottom of the hour at 6 a.m. We got a couple of lines available. We lost Rush. If you want to call back, Rush, we'll get you in the queue here. 866-391-1020. Let's go to Ken in Lower Borough. Ken, good morning. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, Rob. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man.
We knew the military action was coming. I was hoping it wasn't going to have to come to this. I mean, I woke up at 2 o'clock this morning, and I seen it on TV, and I'm thinking, it didn't surprise me. I mean, I look back at this country from when I was in elementary school, and when our hostages were being held, and the country was united in getting those hostages back. And it's been a sad situation over there the whole time. And I fear that I'm hoping we lose no one in this action. But at this point, I had so many other subjects to cover, but this one decides to pop up. But anyway, of course, we're going to have our divide in this country. You'll have your Democratic response after me, and it's all going to be negative because that's all they have. I mean, he's looking to the future of America, and I look at it this way. We have to look out for ourselves. I've been saying this forever. And even the Democratic Party, they say they're there to help the poor. I mean, they're not at this point. I mean, we have to look at this is a global control of oil. And if it slows Russia down in what's going on in that war, so be it. I mean, it's going to cost us a little bit of money at the gas pumps. I see that. But you know what? I saw Trump yesterday, and he was talking about, I guess he was in Iowa or something, $1.98, $1.89 a gallon. I mean, you can see this is, we shouldn't have fights within this country about helping Americans at this point. I mean, when everybody pays $1.98 for gas, everybody wins. But it doesn't seem like 7 of these blue states, it's just not happening. You can see, I mean, look to your local Pittsburgh. I mean, they're begging for people to come down and open pop-up businesses. Come on. If Pittsburgh was so great, people would be in line to come down and open a business. And you know what? I don't know. Like I said, this war, knew it was coming. I don't think it's going to last long. I'm watching to see when one of the care groups pulls out of there. I think we have 3 over there, which is unbelievable amount of firepower. I mean, every air base is packed with planes, that land-based bases. Like so I said, I'm just looking for one of the aircraft carriers to pull out. Once that happens, I know it's going to go the other way. So other than that, I better let other callers call in.
All right.
You have a good day.
All right, Ken. Thanks, man. 866-391-1020. Good or bad idea, this little conflict that is underway. It's little now. When I say little, I don't think Iran is much of an opponent. I really don't. But I think if we would have let them continue even another year or two, it could have been catastrophic. And I'll tell you this. If they end up basically falling and crumbling, victor goes the spoils. All of that oil, they're not doing any good with it. Maybe somebody takes it and actually distributes it to where the people of Iran actually have enough money to take care of their families. Do you realize the thousands of people that they murdered for simply protesting, saying they didn't have enough to eat? I mean, what kind of country is that? Forget about all the other stuff that they've done throughout the years and have sponsored terrorism and assassinations. Who knows, looking back at some of the horrible things that have happened in this country, if they haven't had something to do with it. Love to get your thoughts on this. It is the big story, and you'll have the latest from CBS Radio News coming up in a couple of moments. 866-391-1020. Here's Ted up on Mount Washington. Good morning, Teddy.
What's going on, Rob?
This is a massive story, and I think it's going to be driving our phones pretty much over the next week. But anyway, your thoughts. Good morning.
Well, I will say this. It's a continuation of the PNAC, Project for the American Century, from George Bush all the way on. Only one screwed up was Biden. Well, Obama got rid of Gaddafi. It's a remaking of the Middle East. With Iran, look, I will say this. I applaud what the president's doing, but I'm not naive. Iran is not Iraq, man. I mean, it's that regime was formed through revolution. You're going to have troops there, and it's going to be bloody. There's no other way around it. As far as Trump, his MAGA base, I'll be honest, they're pretty much going to abandon him because this is not what they signed up for. They signed up for American First, and you can see it. So he's pretty much on his own. I would have had a little bit bigger of a coalition. I just don't think it's big enough. Also, oil prices going to go through the roof. Hope not. May hit $100 a barrel. Who knows? Hopefully, we can get through the conflict. But if they topple that regime, the bottom line is going to be just like Iraq. And General Petraeus, where he said, who's going to run it? Okay? I hope they got a plan about who's going to run the country. Because if they don't, then he's going to be just like George W. Bush in Israel, in Gaza. You're going to be there forever. There's no other way around it, Rob. You're going to have to commit troops to get rid of that regime.
Yeah, but listen, when we get boots on the ground and there starts to be that type of combat, then I'm going to get really concerned. I hope it doesn't go there. But look, Iran could not continue, and you know that, Teddy. Oh,
no, look, I applaud what he's doing. This should have been, I think he's late. Okay, I'll just be honest. When Israel was bombing, he should have been bombing. But, I'm not naive. You're going to have to commit troops. There's no other way around it. If you're going to weed out that regime, you're going to have to commit troops. It doesn't have to be U.S. troops, but there's going to have to be troops in that country. And it's long overdue. And you cannot have a stable Middle East with Iran. The Abraham Accord is a great plan, but Iran is the one that's destabilizing the Middle East right now. And you have to weed them out. And it'll be a great thing because you get rid of Hamas, Hezbollah, all those proxies Iran's been supporting for decades. It's time to get rid of that regime.
And they've been supporting all of those folks. You know that.
Absolutely. I mean, I can go for the hostages to the Iran-Contra thing on. There's a whole history of Iran. Plus, Iran used to be a democracy. Let's not forget that. And I think it's about time to give those people a chance to go back to that.
What I don't understand is just why it's taken so long, why so many other presidents have not done what President Trump has done. I honestly think the killing of these protesters had a lot to do with it, and I think we have a better relationship with Israel now. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, you remember after 9/11 when George Bush said, if you're not with us, you're against us, okay? And he was the first president to really start toppling regimes. And after that, what did Obama do? He got rid of Gaddafi, So American people really got sick of wars. They got sick of what happened in Afghanistan, 20 years, got nothing for that. So you went into the bubble of isolationism. And I told you with Trump, what he was saying, I didn't buy what he was saying. He's no different than any other president. He was going to have to engage. And this pretty much shows that Trump's no different. No different than Bush, Obama, you name it. And it shows that we're the only superpower left. And I'll be honest, this has to be done because we got wars with Russia, we got wars with China. You're going to have to engage the world. You can't isolate yourself.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. Listen, I got to get to the news. Ted, appreciate it. We'll have the latest on what's happening with these military movements and action in the Middle East. And again, in case you're just joining us, President announced that military operations are underway against Iran in the Middle East, along with our allies from Israel. I want to get your thoughts on if you think this is a good idea or not. Look, it has to be done. There is no getting around it. This has to be done. And sadly, you have to think what will happen to the people if the government is upended. But can they survive when they can't even protest that they have needs for the basics to stay alive, and people are murdered by the thousands simply for protesting? I mean, that's just not a good future. And this is not the first time stuff like this has happened. It's just really one of the first times they've done it to this extreme. And I think that's really what sealed the government of Iran's fate. 866-391-1020. Your calls on the other side. Stay with us. And the latest on that story, moments away, CBS.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Pittsburgh is on the clock. Our comprehensive draft coverage is powered by Bowser Chevrolet. It's more than just the players. It's the vibe of the city. Where to go? What to do? We have you covered. It's presented by Target Freight Management and brought to you by your local AAA travel office and by Groundworks, formerly Baker's Waterproofing. On the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News special report. The U.S. and Israel have attacked Iran after it refused to curb its nuclear program. Iran has fired back with missile attacks on U.S. bases in Bahrain and Jordan. Explosions have also been reported in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Abu Dhabi. President Trump posted a video to social media.
The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission.
The BBC's John Donison is in Israel, where air defense systems are trying to intercept the incoming Iranian missiles.
We awoke to the sound of sirens going off across Jerusalem and across Israel.
CBS's Olivia Gazis reports explosions have been heard in Qatar's capital, Doha.
Doha hosts the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East.
The U.S. is urging Americans in several Middle Eastern countries to shelter in place. CBS News Special Report. I'm Michael Wallace.
Join Beth Andrews for the Net Worth Financial Hour Saturdays at 1 to get the news and information you need to make your retirement dream a reality. That's the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews, Saturdays at 1. Net Worth Advisors, LLC is a registered investment advisor.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. I've been a customer for over a decade. Why? Because the professional work CertaPro Painters does protects your home, quality paint, worry-free process, free estimates. That's why I've relied on CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Join Rob Pratt every Sunday at 11 a.m. for Black and Gold Sunday, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer. Rob keeps you posted on Pittsburgh sports with 2 hours of exciting talk. That's Black and Gold Sunday, 11 to 1, presented each week by Coons Market.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There will be a mixture of clouds and sun today. A nice afternoon with a high up to 57. Cloudy tonight, a touch of rain or snow at times late with a low down to 29. Mostly cloudy and colder tomorrow with a high of 37. Bit of snow, little or no accumulation on Monday, high up to 39. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, splendid weekend. When we get on the other side of it, I'll be back Monday, and we'll talk to you just after Pirate Baseball on a wonderful Monday right here, KDKA.
All right, Colin, thanks. Back at it, your Pratt Pack and 866-391-1020. I got to believe there's some of you in this audience who think this is a dumb idea, but what choice did we have? And if there's anybody who doesn't like the fact that this is happening, what good graces do you see with the Iran government? I mean, they just murdered and killed their own people for protesting. And don't tell me it's not our job to get involved. And I know many of you who don't back Israel like I do are trying to connect Israel to this, but really, this is more the president than Benjamin Netanyahu. It really is. So if you want to blame anybody, blame him. I want to hear from you. Got an opportunity here. Jump on the phone. 866-391-1020. Out to Jefferson Hills. Here's Rich on KDKA. Hey, Rich.
Hey, good morning, Rob. Kudos to Trump again, because you got to stay in alignment with Israel. If we don't, we got a serious problem. You got to get Iran, eradicate them, take them out, and worry about who's going to lead the country later on. Don't worry. There's already a game plan in motion, I'm sure. They just start going in their blind side. But you have to stay in alliance with Israel. If we don't, as the United States, stay in alliance with Israel, we got a major problem.
Let me interject something here. I don't think this is really all Israel. And if people want to agree or disagree, that's fine. That's what I get paid for. But I think this is more the president. I think the president was the one saying, look, this is our ball, let us run with it. I think Israel has been playing these type of games with Iran for the longest time. It's business as usual. But I think the president is just saying, you know what, I'm tired of these monsters running these governments and hurting people or threatening the United States. He's looking at the big picture as far as our country. And don't think his operatives and CIA members and that aren't been telling him, hey, they've been responsible for this, this, and this. And one thing about this president, he opens up the past. I don't care if it's the Kennedy assassination or Route 51 and aliens or whatever. This guy's all about wanting to clean the place up. And he's probably started to look back in history and started hearing in timelines and then, just waiting for the opportunity. And then he saw what happened to the people of Iran being killed for protesting. I think he's just had enough. I think he realizes he's a lame duck president. Why he did what he did in Venezuela. That's why he's been pushing Putin like he's been pushing Putin. I think he's just tired of the mess, and he just is saying, if you're not going to finish it, I am. I don't think this was Israel's call. I think it was more the president's call. I do believe we need to stand by Israel, but I think this is more of an American movement with these military actions that are taking place more so than Israel.
Oh, I agree with you, Rob. I mean, he looks at the big picture. He's worried about the United States. He's not playing any games. That's the thing. He's not a game player. He said in the beginning when he got elected what he's going to do, A, B, C, and D, and follow that. If you don't like it, well, then you got a problem. So God bless him. He loves America, and he ain't going to let nobody goof on us. I don't know what people see. I don't know who in their right mind could say he's doing something wrong. Oh, there will be some people like some of the Democrats. They'll be bad-mouthing him today. Oh, it's a major mistake. But I agree with him 100%, and he loves America. And I agree with you. He ain't going to let nobody goof with us.
Well, here's the thing.
God bless him.
Here's the thing, Rich. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm not getting my traditional collars today. And I respect everybody, but I think they know that the president's right here. I think he had no other choice. And I don't expect to get a lot of calls today because a lot of callers usually on the weekends in the first hour or two are negative President Trump. But I don't see how anybody could be negative about a guy who takes action against a government who kills innocent people in their own country, men, women, and children, because they don't have enough to eat. They murdered thousands of people, just killed them, shot them on sight. How can you let a government, forget all the nuclear stuff, that alone, how can you let any government run their country that way when they have gazillions of dollars in oil reserves, and that's how they treat the people that really are holding up the country? I think there's not one person that down deep, even though they won't want to admit it, cannot support the president for what he's doing.
God bless you, Rob. I agree with you 100%.
All right, Richie, thanks for the call. So, listen, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. You know me. I give everybody an opportunity, but this is the fact. Iran is bad. That government is just rotten. And I don't look, and the reason I don't have any of those negative is Israel folks that call me all the time because I support Israel so much. You got nothing to say either, because I don't think this was Israel's call. I think it was the president's, and he's been saying it could happen. They even said it could happen Saturday. And here it is, Saturday. My eyes open at 2 a.m., a little earlier than that, because people are blowing up my phone back home that listen to me. And it's happened again. It's happened again. He basically said, look, this is what we're going to do. He started blowing those Venezuelan ships out of the water. He kept telling the government, you better stop, and they didn't. You know why? Because we've had so many generations of presidents who have threatened, but they haven't done anything. You realize this is the first president since JFK in the Bay of Pigs, which, you know, we should have never stopped when we hit the beach in Cuba, but the president tried to do the right thing there. George H. Bush stopped Norman Schwarzkopf from going into Baghdad. We shouldn't have done that. Tried to do the right thing. This president knows his history. Smart guy. Got good people around him. He's saying, you know what? We're not going to stop. We're not going to look back 20, 30 years from now and say what we should have done. I think, and I'm just going to lay it out there, I think Putin is going to fall. I think he will be out of office. I think Ukraine will survive. And I think the Russian people will take Putin out of office. How they remove him, I don't know. But I think he will be out of office soon, because this war is taking a toll on the people of Russia, and they've had enough. It's why the people in Iran were protesting. I think that government is gone. I think the Middle East is about ready to flip a switch and will completely change as we know it. And I think Latin America is going to change too. And I think these drug cartels are in for a rude awakening, because I think this president, before it's over, he will send military intervention in places like Mexico too. Because in the end, you realize the government of Mexico is probably also realizing they're losing too many of their citizens to this country. Why? Because they don't want to be in Mexico anymore, especially in places like Guadalajara, where they were being killed in the streets. Killed in the streets because of one drug cartel thug being killed. I mean, how much more do you have to realize? Start connecting the dots. Cuba, Venezuela, Mexico, the Middle East, Europe. It's everywhere. So don't you understand? Sometimes things happen for a reason. George W. Bush, 9/11. Right person, right time. Donald Trump, what's happening now? Right person, right time. He actually leaves office for a huge chunk. 4 years. 4 years. And then he gets put back in office. You don't think that the American people don't see what's happening in the world today? They have a great visual of what's happening in the world. And unless this man makes these decisions, we're in trouble. You see, if Iran gets one country, whether it's China or Russia, to back them, and then they take their resources and team up with them, it's only going to take a matter of time before two of these just vicious regimes get together and do something to destroy America. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Mark my word, if the president doesn't do what he needs to do, it's going to happen. So I'm all for him. And again, I don't think it's Israel pushing the buttons here. I think Israel is there at our side. I think this is one time in the Middle East where action is taking place because of the president of the United States of America, something that should have been done decades ago. Iran, after the Ayatollah Khomeini, when we forced the hand to release those prisoners, that's where we should have put our foot and held them down. If we would have held them down, half of the things that we've seen in the Middle East would have never happened. Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, none of that stuff would have happened because they would have known there's a price to pay. And finally, we have a president who's got the moxie to be able to say, look, I'm going to tell you one time, not 10 times, not revisit it every other year, or at the end of my 4 years say, you know, I hope that we taught lessons. This guy is going to prove lessons will be lived and learned, and price will be paid if you push or threaten America. As he said on social media, this is all about protecting Americans. We may even lose lives. This isn't for today, it's for tomorrow. So I want to get your thoughts. 866-391-1020. Thank you, Pittsburgh. Your generosity is amazing, and we can't thank you enough for your support during the 2026 NRG KDKA Radio Warmathon. Presented by MediConnect, we were able to raise over $345,000 to benefit the Dollar Energy Fund and support over 950 local families powered by Dynegy. You can still support those in need at warmathon.com. Your calls coming up next. 866-391-1020.
We're only 54 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDK yesterday in the girls 1A game. It was Sarah Catholic over Geibel 47-46. Boys 2A, Swickley Academy defeated Jeanette 52-38. Girls 5A, South Fayette over Thomas Jefferson 57-38. And in the 6A boys title game, it was the Upper St. Clair Panthers over Newcastle 52-51. Today, coming up beginning at 11 o'clock, Class 2A Girls Championship action to be heard on KDK Radio. It's top seed Neshannock taking on Winchester Thurston. At 1 o'clock, Class 3A Boys Championship, number 2 Aliquippa versus number 8 South Allegheny. At 3 o'clock, 4A Girls Championship, number 1 Blackhawk against the second-seeded Oakland Catholic. And at 5 o'clock, Class 6A Girls Championship, top-ranked Cannon Mac taking on Norwin. And at 7 o'clock tonight in the Class 5A Boys Championship, number 1 Chartiers Valley goes against number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson. Pitt taking on Cal today at 4 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. Duquesne will take on St. Louis. Penn State and Iowa tip off at noon. Robert Morris and Cleveland State, WVU and BYU. Penns and Rangers today at 12:30. Bucks and Baltimore. Bucks get a win 6-1. And coming up today at 1 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan, more spring training baseball. It's the Bucks and Houston. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Protect your most valuable asset, your home sweet home, with PJ Fitzpatrick. They have the experience and know-how to ensure the structural integrity and energy efficiency of your roof. Trust PJ Fitzpatrick's 45 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. Our professionals install most roofs in just one day. PJ Fitzpatrick has a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son, Mike. In addition to the comp case, there's a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Suffering from peripheral neuropathy? Learn how over 15,000 sufferers regained their comfort, mobility, and quality of life with Tri-State Neuropathy Center's successful treatment plan that is FDA cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free. Here's Sean Ritchie, DC, and Tri-State's founder about one of their many satisfied patients.
One thing I've learned about people that get numb with their neuropathy, they have balance issues, just like Bob from Gibsonia. His numbness got so bad, he started to have to shuffle and was starting to have some falls. After completing our FDA-cleared treatment program, he is doing so much better. In fact, he was at his friend's house and he was at the American Legions, and they couldn't believe the difference that they saw in him.
Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help Bob. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000 for a free consultation. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy. Learn more at marydanstin.com.
Think back to the last time you were in nature. What comes to mind? Hiking through a lush forest, floating on a lazy river, or perhaps watching a vibrant sunset on a beach full of glistening plastic bottles and food wrappers. Unfortunately, this isn't a joke. Here in the U.S., we generate the most plastic waste in the world, with 70% of it ending up in landfills. And by the time you're done listening to this ad, more than a dump truck's worth of plastic will have made it into the ocean. Plastic has become a useful part of our everyday lives, but it's polluting the air, water, and soil that all life needs to survive. This is a human problem that can be solved with human action. But it's going to take all of us, from individuals to businesses to governments and everyone in between. Help create a cleaner future for both people and nature. Visit wwf.earth/plastics.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, again, the lead story, United States and Israel, attacks underway, Middle East military combat has taken place by air. We'll have the latest coming up at 6 with Rob throughout the day with our colleagues at CBS Radio News. Your thoughts, good idea or not? I simply have said from the very beginning this was going to happen, and I also have said there was no other choice. The Iran government has to be stopped. Stopped cold in their tracks. Give me your thoughts. 866-391-1020. JD, North Hills. Good morning, JD.
Good morning, Rob. How you doing?
I'm good. What's happening?
Not much. Good start for the Pirates so far this spring. I think Pitt's on borrowed time. Howard, Mr. Keeple, we got a pay-per-view tonight, so I just figured I'd give you a ring and see how you were doing.
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're talking about some serious stuff today, but I appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm hoping that the Pirates can actually, build on some of this young talent. Maybe come late summer, we'll have some fun on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Hey, go get some rest. Thank you so much. Good to hear your voice. Have a great day. That's our buddy JD, just checking in, and one of our favorites from the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. But anyway, let me get back to some serious stuff here, and that is what is happening right now in the Middle East. And again, I think one of the reasons why there's not a lot of folks that are pounding on me for supporting the president, because they realize that this government in Iran had to be stopped. And as cold-hearted as many of you think at times our president can be, I think he's a man that's full of compassion, and I think that he understands the loss of human life, and I think the straw that truly broke the camel's back had to do with when these people were killed in cold blood. And I think he just simply said enough is enough is enough. If they will do that to their own people, they will do anything to anybody, any place, anywhere around the world. And I think now we have a good idea that the Iran military, and you're going to see this over the next 48, 72 hours, they're not what they're so-called cracked up to be. They're not. And they know if they do something like that and cross into Israel and start sending troops, that they will have an onslaught on them like they have never seen. You realize that the Iran government, the infrastructure, everything that Iran is could be destroyed in a matter of days. A matter of days. Right now, they are getting bombarded. And I would truly like to see the real story. Because of so much radio, media silence in that part of the world because of government control, we're seeing some video and some shots and hearing some stories on some people that are actually there, media, boots on the ground, if you will, in Iran. But the bottom line is, I can't even imagine the price that they are paying right now and the damage that has been done. The president, I promise you, it's not going to be like the warning strikes that took place months ago. This is going to be the deal breaker. This is going to simply say, so you don't want to bargain in good faith. You want to continue to play your games. You want to continue to work on nuclear weapons and being able to launch them against the United States. We've given you a Mao, you've taken 10. We've given you 10, you've taken 20. You even have the capability to launch these missiles to just about anywhere in Europe. We turned a deaf ear to that. We walked away. We kept just saying, stop, stop. and then you do that to your people, President said no more. And listen, they are the people that have backed Hamas. Make no mistake about it. They're the people that have backed Hamas from the very beginning. Hamas went into Israel, in my opinion, because of the bankroll that they were given by Iran. Because Iran does not like Israel because of one sheer fact, jealousy. Because Israel has figured it out and they haven't. And they can't understand why their people continue to uprise against them. This is just the beginning. As the West gets more prevalent and we get more social media savvy and people are able to start seeing what's happening around the world and what they're missing out on, you're going to have them revolting against their government. I believe Russia will fall as we know it. I think eventually, maybe not in my lifetime, but shortly thereafter, China will fall. You will have no more of these dictator, radical, communist states. They'll be gone. And I'm not saying that we're going to be able to help the world, but I can tell you right now that this game is over. Of holding people down, destroying them, beating down who they are mentally, socially, physically, and to the point where they are willing to risk their own life, knowing that if they speak out, they could die, but they're willing to do that because they don't want to live the way they're living. Believe me, it's happening in Russia. If we had true media coverage, you'd be seeing people begging for Putin to be removed from office. This could be the game changer. If this goes in our favor, which I believe it will in Iran, this could be a wake-up call to where we could see a mass exodus as far as communism and dictatorship around the world. It's happening in Latin America. Look, the military actually took out a drug cartel, a major leader. They suffered the consequences for it, but they did it. I think people are tired of being run by people that are flat-out monsters. 866-391-1020. Your call's next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert.
So since our Odyssey sports director is in Indianapolis, when Jeff joins us...
I'll only invite about 30 for the draft, maybe a few more to be in person for the draft. The people that live in Pittsburgh will be there, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys, show up. And the next big event is in our city.
And we're looking forward to it.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Are you prepared for winter storms and possible power outages? Duquesne Light Company urges you to prepare your emergency kit ahead of the next storm. Stock up on bottled water, non-perishable food, flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit, and warm blankets to keep you and your family safe and comfortable. And don't forget to charge your devices. A little preparation goes a long way. Learn more about how to prepare for storms year-round at DuquesneLight.com/stormplan. That's DuquesneLight.com/stormplan.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
The 10-Tenors are back and ready to celebrate their 30th anniversary world tour, coming to the Palace Theater Saturday, March 28th. Come and enjoy an unforgettable evening of pop, rock, and classical 10-tenor hits. Celebrating 30 years of the 10-Tenors, Saturday, March 28th. Get reserved seats now at thepalacetheater.org. Another Drusky Entertainment event. Throughout Black History Month, the city of Pittsburgh celebrates the spirit and heroism of the Vachon family, which settled in Pittsburgh in 1829. A month-long display at the City County Building and online content explores the enduring legacy of these inspiring abolitionists and activists, whose impact continues to motivate contemporary movements for justice and equality. This celebration showcases one of the most important families in the city of Pittsburgh during the building of our nation. Learn what's happening in February at KDKA-Radio.com.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. For more than a decade, I've been working with CertaPro Painters doing great work for me, and now is the time. Get a free estimate, get on the schedule at the right price. You never have to wonder what's next with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market team when they discuss recipes featuring the incredible egg. It's the Coons Cooking Hour presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 39 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The U.S. and Israel have launched strikes on Tehran, and President Donald Trump says the U.S. is starting major combat operations against Iran. Earlier today, witnesses reported smoke near offices tied to Iran's supreme leader, and residents heard heavy explosions across the capital. Trump says Iran keeps pursuing nuclear work and missile development, and he warns U.S. casualties are possible. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this breaking story from this morning. Also, Pittsburgh police arrested a woman involved in a domestic situation turned car chase. Police say the incident began in McKees Rocks, where a woman was involved of a domestic incident involving a gun. A chase ensued, ending up with the woman crashing along Brighton Road in Brighton Heights Friday night. Police say she ran from the scene, but they caught up with her. It's unclear the details of the initial domestic incident in McKees Rocks. Also, a drug bust in Penn Hills has 2 people in custody. Allegheny County Police on Friday morning announced they had executed a search warrant at a home in the 300 block of Idlewood Road. That's where they say they found a stolen AR-15 rifle, over 100 bricks of fentanyl, a half kilo of cocaine, marijuana, and about $15,000 of cash. Exact charges against the 2 individuals are pending. Pittsburgh police arrested a woman accused of stabbing a man in Arlington Heights. The alleged incident occurred Friday morning. Police say a woman knocked on a man's door, began arguing with him, and then police say she stabbed him. That man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The woman was eventually arrested in the Southside Slopes at Josephine and Salisbury Streets. She's now in the Allegheny County Jail. A new robotics innovation center officially opened Friday morning in Hazelwood Green. Brings Carnegie Mellon University's robotics research and leading tech companies into one facility. Governor Josh Shapiro joined Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor and other officials in that ribbon cutting. 3-story facility will give CMU students space for building and developing robots, and there's also an in-ground pool where researchers can test underwater technology. Well, a new Quinnipiac University poll of Steelers fans finds lukewarm support for the team's new head coach, Mike McCarthy. Only 40% of those surveyed think that was the right move to bring him in, though 51% of self-described superfans do like the choice. Professor Nick Petruskevich says that only shows McCarthy is a lightning rod.
Which, again, I think is surprising because I think they tend to have that tradition of looking at stability, and McCarthy is not necessarily that. However, very few people knew who Mike Tomlin was before he showed up on day one.
Most fans don't want to see a Mike McCarthy-Aaron Rodgers reunion, with 51% saying it's time for the veteran quarterback to move on. KDKA Radio News Time is 6:03. We have the AccuWeather forecast next.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. I've been a customer for over a decade. Why? Because the professional work CertaPro Painters does protects your home, quality paint, worry-free process, free estimates. That's why I've relied on CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania is committed to the communities they serve, ensuring that all their customers stay safe and warm in their homes during the cold winter months. To ensure that no one goes without heat when the temperatures drop, Columbia Gas offers energy efficiency and bill payment assistance programs to make their customers' lives easier. To learn more about the valuable services available through Columbia Gas, call 1-888-460-4332 or visit online at columbiagaspa.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have clouds and sun today, a nice afternoon with a high up to 57. Cloudy tonight with a little snow and rain at times late. No accumulation, low down to 29. Mostly cloudy and colder tomorrow, high 37. Bit of snow on Monday, high up to 39. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
The United States achieved a historic first at the 2026 Winter Olympics by winning gold medals in both men's and women's hockey in the same year. We're proud to point out several players with Pittsburgh connections were on both teams. Vincent Trocheck is a Mount Lebanon native who grew up playing the game here as a boy. JT Miller is from East Palestine, Ohio, and played youth hockey here when his family lived in Coriopolis. Both men played for the New York Rangers. On the U.S. women's team, goaltender Ava McNaughton is from Seven Fields and played in the Penn's Elite program. Another goalie, Gwyneth Phillips, played hockey at Shadyside Academy. 2 more players, Layla Edwards and Hannah Bilka, played in the Penn's Elite program as well. It wasn't long ago U.S. players could not compete with Canadians. Few made it to professional hockey. Now the quality of youth hockey being played in the Pittsburgh area is impressive. Credit goes to Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby for generating interest in the sport and fostering its growth. The same men transformed the Penguins and won 5 Stanley Cups. Today, Pittsburgh can take pride in the development of 6 players who won Olympic gold.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Prax on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
You know, before we get back to our conversation about what's going on in the Middle East, some news from the entertainment world that trended late yesterday. Neil Sedaka passed away at the age of 86. Neil Sedaka, big part of the soundtrack of my life, not the early part of his career, which was the late 50s. But, you know, what Neil Sedaka did, he was a showman, he was a performer, and he, like many of that doo-wop era, realized that, hey, you know, we're going to grow out of this. We're going to age out of this, so I better start doing something else. Paul Anka was one who basically followed the same path. They started to pen hits for other people. So 1975, do the math, a little over 50 years ago, he decides to write a song for this group known as the Captain and Tennille, right? Toni Tennille and her husband, the captain, the keyboardist. She was the singer. And if you remember Love Will Keep Us Together, at the end of that song, she basically said multiple times, Sedaka is back. And that not only launched his writing career again, it became the Grammy Award-winning Song of the Year in 1975 and a chart topper for months. He basically started performing again. And he kind of caught that wave of the nostalgia that was going on at that time. And then he also started to write more hit records. But when you look at his career, Calendar Girl from the early days, Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, I mean, Laughter in the Rain, just an incredible library of work. And because of social media, a lot of these performers like Frankie Avalon and people from that Philadelphia sound of that doo-wop era have found an audience again. Via social media. They do podcasting, they perform. Well, Neil, what he would do would simply tell stories, and then his musically inclined family, including his grandchildren, would sit next to him on the bench at the piano. He would teach them, he would learn them, give them piano lessons, voice lessons, and he would sing his classics, let them sing his classics. Well, he found a whole new audience again. And I knew he had been in ill health, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time. He's performed around here many times. He's had multiple versions of a very successful career going back to those early days. And then he came back with a vengeance in the 70s, 80s, and really even the early 90s. So Neil Sedaka has passed away. One of the rare performers who has not sold their catalog, their library, their music. Paul Anka hasn't done it. People like Bruce Springsteen have. Taylor Swift actually re-recorded many of her hit songs to have Taylor's version so she could get the copyrights back. Simon and Garfunkel, they've sold their library, as has Paul Simon. And people, I mean, just Justin Bieber has sold his. I heard that the rap artist out of St. Louis, Nelly, recently sold his for $50 million. So that seems to be the trend because they're saying, look, you know, my children have enough wealth because of me touring and who I've been and have lived in, you know, these very successful times in recent decades. Why do I want to be gone when I can have the money now and do things with my family and somebody's getting a residual check 3 and 4 or 5 generations down the road when I've been gone for 50 to 100 years? So be it. And you may remember back in the day when Michael Jackson was a very shrewd business person and actually found a way to buy a lot of the Beatles catalog right out from underneath people like Paul McCartney, who tried later to buy him back but was unsuccessful. So a certain part of the Beatles history, they still own, Ringo and Paul, and family members of John Lennon and George Harrison. But from a certain timeline beyond, they don't own them. And one of the stickling points was, you know, Michael, his group started to sell the rights for various ads and commercials, and that just infuriated people, you know, especially Paul McCartney. But it is what it is. It's business today. But when you look at the catalog of Neil Sedaka, it'll be paying his grandchildren and great-grandchildren heavy royalty checks for years to come. And if you don't believe me, I just kind of rattled off a couple. Wikipedia the guy, and you will see how many hits he has had. You know, the incredible thing about Neil Sedaka is the fact that he really was a true show person. You know, Elton John kind of on the same path as far as how they became who they were. Elton playing in pubs in London with that piano. Neil basically playing the supper club route, places like Atlantic City, Reno, Vegas, same thing. But they could do more than just play piano. They could engage an audience. They could tell jokes. They were great storytellers. And the thing about Neil Sedaka that a lot of people may just get reconnected to, and it's been all over social media, this has been a major story other than what we've been talking about, sadly, in the Middle East, because Neil Sedaka was loved by people around the world. I mean, that's the kind of audience he had. But listening to some of the songs that I haven't heard in a long time since I was playing some of these songs on the radio, it makes me realize what a good voice this guy had. But like Elton John was a master pianist, but could write songs. And Elton, you know, a lot of people forget when he had Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, about that same time, the early 70s, when Neil was kind of finding his way back to the top of the charts. I mean, he was writing like prolific songs and having platinum albums and songs that were staying on top of the charts. He had multiple songs in the top 40, touring the world. See, back in the day, artists used to tour to sell records. But now because of downloading and streaming and everything that happens, they don't do that anymore. They tour to make money. And the streaming and the music is basically to support the concert. So it's just a different world in the music world today. But one thing is for sure, the legacy of Neil Sedaka will live on for a very long time. And there may be a few of you in the audience who have no idea who he is. But if you're old enough, and I say Captain and Tennille, Love Will Keep Us Together, massive. And I remember later playing that on the radio and hearing Sedaka is back. And I asked somebody, I said, what does that mean? And they said, Neil Sedaka, oh, he wrote the song, and he hadn't written a song in a while. And I wasn't too much into the golden oldies, and I was a young kid. Then all of a sudden, he started performing, and he started to have records that were climbing up the charts. And that was my job, being a disc jockey, playing music on the radio to stay in touch with that stuff. And we had people like Dick Clark's Countdown. We had Casey Kasem's Countdown. I actually played the Dick Clark Countdown on Sunday mornings on KDKA. It came in 33 1/3 albums, and I would play them on the turntables during part of my shift. So I was always kind of plugged into music. But then Dick Clark found a way to plug in those doo-wop bands, just like Berry Gordy did with the Motown groups, and they started touring the country. And then I started to notice that Neil Sedaka had a career long before the 70s. So an incredible talent, and I had to take a little bit of time anyway today, even though we're dealing with a busy news day, to talk about the passing of Neil Sedaka, a legendary performer, writer, songstress, and just a guy who could do just about anything when it came to the world of entertainment. Passes away at the age of 86. Okay, back to the Middle East story, getting your thoughts on it. We'll do that. We're going to go to Joe in Mount Oliver. Just a couple of moments. Stay where you're at. Your Pratt Pack, KDKA. Good morning.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDK yesterday in the girls 1A game. It was Sarah Catholic over Geibel 47-46. Boys 2A, Swickley Academy defeated Jeanette 52-38. Girls 5A, South Fayette over Thomas Jefferson 57-38. And in the 6A boys title game, it was the Upper St. Clair Panthers over Newcastle 52-51. Today, coming up beginning at 11 o'clock, Class 2A Girls Championship action to be heard on KDK Radio. It's top seed Neshannock taking on Winchester Thurston. At 1 o'clock, Class 3A Boys Championship, number 2 Aliquippa versus number 8 South Allegheny. At 3 o'clock, 4A Girls Championship, number 1 Blackhawk against the second-seeded Oakland Catholic. And at 5 o'clock, Class 6A Girls Championship, top-ranked Cannon Mac taking on Norwin. And at 7 o'clock tonight in the Class 5A Boys Championship, number 1 Chartiers Valley goes against number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson. Pitt taking on Cal today at 4 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. Duquesne will take on St. Louis, Penn State, and Iowa tip-off at noon. Robert Morris and Cleveland State, WVU and BYU. Pens and Rangers today at 12:30. Bucks and Baltimore. Bucks get a win 6-1. And coming up today at 1 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan, more spring training baseball. It's the Bucks and Houston. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Time now for a Black History Month Spotlight.
Today we honor Lynn Hayes Freeland, a Pittsburgh native. Hayes Freeland was a constant presence in our lives for decades, keeping the community informed, inspired, and connected. Over nearly half a century in television and radio, including 30 years as a reporter on KDKA-TV. And as host of the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show, she became a true icon of Pittsburgh media. Hayes Freeland made history as the first African American to host a full-time weekday radio show on KDKA Radio, breaking barriers and opening doors for future generations of journalists. She was the eyes and ears within the community, delivering stories with integrity, insight, and a voice that mattered. Today, we celebrate Lynn Hayes Freeland not only for her groundbreaking career, but for her lasting impact on journalism, representation, and the Pittsburgh community.
Matthews International Corporation seeks advisory specialist, business line controller in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Provide financial advisory support to business managers and for compliance compliance with critical accounting activities. May be assigned to various unanticipated sites throughout the United States. Hybrid remote work and work at home may be permitted. Minimum requirements: bachelor's degree, United States or foreign equivalent in accounting, finance, or related field. Chartered Institute of Management Accountants qualification. 3 years experience in position offered or in a financial analysis role. Salary $81,411 to $179,610 per year. Monday to Friday, 40 hours per week. Medical, prescription, dental, vision plans, health savings, and flexible spending accounts. Life and disability. Paid time off plus 10 paid holidays. Employee assistance program. 401k. Short-term incentive plan. Employee stock purchase option. Submit resume to lisa.connolly@matw.com, referencing advisory specialist, business line controller, equal opportunity employer.
Retirement, it's almost here. Are you ready? Well, join Kurt Kanodik and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group for your retirement blueprint. Let Kurt and Ethan help you plan for your retirement dreams. Don't miss your retirement blueprint, Sundays at 10. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up. I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah. I only paid to now sell half. Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offers end March 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
If you need a new appliance, this is your sign. Shop at Lowe's now to get up to 35% off and next-day delivery on hundreds of major appliances. A new appliance now means an easier to-do list later. Our best lineup is at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. Available Monday through Saturday. Subject to availability. Fees, exclusions, and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/appliance delivery for more details.
The certified elder law attorneys at Julian Gray Associates understand the rules of long-term care and disability. They help families avoid mistakes and protect assets to maintain the best lifestyle options. You don't have to do this alone. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we've been talking a lot about what's going on in the Middle East. A combined military action underway with our allies from Israel against Iran. Airstrikes, the president making that statement in the middle of the night on social media, saying this isn't about really the president, it's about the future. He said we may lose some lives, American lives, but this has to be done. And I think you can tell this morning that a lot of the narrative, the people that are not for the president, aren't really speaking up today, because I think they know this has gone on way too long with Iran, and something had to be done. The Epstein files yesterday, Bill Clinton testified. Recently, Hillary Clinton testified. I get it. I understand. An ugly story. People need to be brought to justice. But what concerns me, and I just got to throw this out, and I talked about this from the home studio, I just hope some of the other culprits involved in these dastardly deeds, because they don't have high-profile names, are kind of slipping through the cracks. Let's hope not. Let's hope that everybody responsible is found guilty. I thought President Clinton handled himself rather well with his post-hearing, the opportunity he had to speak his mind, said he did no wrongdoing. He had no idea what Mr. Epstein was doing, and Hillary Clinton pretty much said the same thing. Look, whether you like them or not, to basically go and face the music when they were subpoenaed, as opposed to getting it held up in court, I think if they would have had anything to hold back on, they would have pushed off, and they would have just let it get held up in litigation, but they didn't. I just want this thing to really come to an end. It may take longer than I would like. It's horrific. It's ugly. It shouldn't happen. And I have no thought of anything when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein. Whatever happened to him, in my opinion, he met his fate because of what his fate was. It was sealed from the very first time he decided to do some of the horrific things that he did. So I got to throw that in the mix. That's the other big story. You want to talk about it, feel free. But this Middle East story is big. And I think most of you know, down deep, president had no choice. And lastly, I don't think this was all Israel. I think the president was the driving force behind it. 866-391-1020. Here's Joe. Joe, good morning. Welcome to KDKA.
Well, to me, as much as I know about history, this is a total farce. Okay, to say he had no choice is just wrong. what I'd like to know is how long is appropriate to wait on the phone when you're talking to on a talk show. And I just happen to have a Captain and Tennille album sitting right by my chair. Okay, there's problems in this country, and they're not being solved. Okay, and people like Donald Trump and his crime crew, right, are responsible for.
All right, Joe, we appreciate your call. Thank you very much. Wow. Okay. I love it, folks. That's what makes the world go round. That's what makes the world go round. Yeah, I had to hit the dump button, so now I got to wait till we get back ramped up again. So your Pratt Pack, my ears are big, folks. I usually have a feeling when it's going to go in the wrong direction, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm used to being beaten down, all right? I'm used to being beaten down because it's not so much me supporting the president. It's me supporting what this country is all about. It's about protecting people who are less fortunate to live in this country. And honestly, I don't know how this in the world this could have taken so long. Could have taken so long to get here. And if you care about people or you have any kind of compassion at all, that's the first caller who really, and had every right. And I'd have kept him on if he wouldn't have used some unchoice words. And I've said before, everybody gets their opportunity to speak. I give everybody that chance as long as you're respectful. If you're respectful, I even sit back, even if I may disagree, to give you your right as an American, a fellow American citizen, to speak your mind. But when you use horrible language, I got to let you go. It's simple as that. And, a lot of people think that's cool and hip. I don't. I think that's just a lack of knowledge and a command of the English language. And you're better than that. Even though you may be a little upset, you're better than that. But look, you have to look at the big picture here. Forget about everything that's happened in my lifetime with Iran, going back to the Ayatollah Khomeini and those hostages when they literally embarrassed the United States in front of the entire world. We basically let it go. We got our people back and let it go. They should have been done then. We should have, and if that happens, I don't think you have Saddam Hussein. I don't think you have Osama bin Laden. I don't think you have 9/11. I don't think you have any of these things. I mean, you may remember the Clinton administration. World Trade Centers were bombed then. I don't think that happens. None of this happens. The Middle East doesn't become an eyesore, doesn't become an issue, doesn't become a problem. If we basically end Iran's terrorist regime 50-some years ago. But we didn't. And that's why we're paying the price today. And I think this president has simply said, we are done. We are done with this madness. It's got to end. So we're going to give you a chance to jump in here and talk to me on the other side of the news. Look, I can handle anything. I've been doing this a long time, okay? But it goes to show you, we've been on the air for 90 minutes, and now I see that Joanne's trying to get in here, so that's 2 against the president, okay? But that's really just, I think, a point to preview that even people that don't like President Trump understand this is about the human race. This is about taking care of people. This is about protecting people. They shot and killed and murdered innocent people, their own people. Men, women, and children for simply saying we don't have enough food. We don't have enough food. I mean, come on, people. All right, let me get a break in here, then we'll come back. We've got Judy, we've got Joanne. People starting to wake up, realizing that, we're engaged in some military action. And I don't like to go as far as saying war. Until you have soldiers on the ground fighting house to house, it is what it is. It's horrible. We could lose lives. But these are strategic military strikes trying to stop them from building their nuclear weapons. Because if they get the ability to launch them against the United States, if they were to have them now, they would have launched them. It's that simple. So 866-391-1020. Give me your thoughts. We're going to take some more calls till the top of the hour. Whatever you want to talk about, the Epstein files, you want to talk about the Middle East, I don't care. Just got to be respectful, folks. I mean, my audience deserves better. And there's a new sheriff in town. You're not going to get away with that stuff. That's just Bush League. 866-391-1020. Back with more in just a moment. Your Pratt Pack for a Saturday, KDKA.
Larry Older here. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama, my mom's home state. He tells us after taking Relief Factor for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain is gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and now I'm amazed at how much relief I've gotten, end of quote. These are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do for you. I've told you about my buddy Tom, an avid golfer out on the green almost every single day. He says without Relief Factor, he wouldn't be able to swing freely because of shoulder pain or back pain. But since taking it, he said he stayed active, comfortable, and confident in his swing. He is a scratch golfer. That's why I encourage you to try Relief Factor yourself and see what it can do for you. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. 800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF, or go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4-RELIEF, ReliefFactor.com.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, starting at just $119 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResPGH.com and mention KDKA.
Y108 presents Odyssey, The Night Before, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, starring Jason Aldean.
Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh? I'm Jason Aldean.
With special guests John Morgan and Shane Prophet. Wednesday, April 22nd, inside the Event Center at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh.
Y'all say we have a little bit of fun. Y'all ready?
You can't buy a ticket to this show. You can only win your way in. Full details at Y108.com. Presented by Miller Lite and brought to you by your local AAA travel office, Panhandle Restoration, and Broken Bow Records.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 39 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6:30. I'm Rob Taylor. President Trump has announced that the U.S. military has begun, quote, major combat operations in Iran. Witnesses earlier today have reported heavy explosions across the capital, Tehran. Trump says Iran keeps pursuing nuclear work and missile development, and he warns U.S. casualties are possible. Trump speaking earlier this morning about the attacks.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Military operation against Iran by the U.S. is joined by Israel, and the operation could last several days. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this breaking story. Pittsburgh police arrested a woman involved in a domestic situation turned car chase. Police say the incident began Friday night in McKees Rocks, where a woman was involved in a domestic incident involving a gun. A chase ensued, ending up with the woman crossing into the city of Pittsburgh by going over the McKees Rocks Bridge, then crashing along Brighton Road in Brighton Heights. Police say she ran from that scene, but they eventually caught up with her. She's been identified now as Anaya Moore. It's unclear the details of the initial domestic incident in McKees Rocks. Pittsburgh police arrested a woman accused of stabbing a man in Arlington Heights. That alleged incident occurred Friday morning. Police say a woman knocked on a man's door, began arguing with the man, and then police say she stabbed him. That man was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The woman was eventually arrested in the Southside Slopes at Josephine and Salisbury Streets. She's now in the Allegheny County Jail. Governor Josh Shapiro announcing a new plan to combat potentially dangerous information shared by artificial intelligence. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
In a meeting at Carnegie's Boys and Girls Club, Shapiro said he wants to crack down on AI chatbots providing mental health counseling to students. He and his staff downloaded a popular app, and he was shocked by what it said.
And I said in the chat,
I'm struggling with my mental health. Are you someone that I can talk to? And this chatbot writes back, or types back, whatever, yes.
And when they told the app they needed to speak to a licensed medical professional, the app said it was one. A task force at the Department of State will share information on problem apps with the Attorney General's office to take any appropriate legal action. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.
KDKA Radio News Time 6:33. AccuWeather forecast next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There will be a mixture of clouds and sun today, a nice afternoon with a high up to 57. Cloudy tonight, a touch of rain or snow at times late with a low down to 29. Mostly cloudy and colder tomorrow with a high of 37. Bit of snow, little or no accumulation on Monday, high up to 39. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, splendid weekend. When we get on the other side of it, I'll be back Monday, and we'll talk to you just after Pirate Baseball on a wonderful Monday right here, KDKA.
All right, I lost Judy somewhere along the way, and Joanne, call back you too. But let's go to Kathy in Imperial, then Andy in Butler, and hopefully we'll get Joanne and Judy back in the mix. Go ahead, Kathy. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, Rob. What I want to talk about is Donald Trump this morning. It's been a while. I haven't been able to read about the breaking news, so I'm not going to speak on the Iran thing right now. But I will talk about the State of the Union address and something I saw from my perspective. When you looked at the audience, the crowd, what I saw was a representation of this country. When the majority of the room stood for people like Royce Williams, the 100-year-old Navy fighter pilot, and clapped, and the Democrats continued to sit. When Eric Slover, who won the Medal of Honor for helping to capture the Venezuelan president, the majority of the room stood, and the Democrats sat. Team USA hockey team, they wouldn't stand. Scott Ruskin and Millie Kate. Scott Ruskin was a Coast Guard swimmer who rescued Millie Kate from the flood last 4th of July. And I could go on, but I don't want to use up all my time naming all the people and all these different diverse things that I just said are things that represent America. They aren't about Trump. They aren't about him. They're about, hey, look, let's take a look at our country. Let's look at the highlights, and let's look at these beautiful people in the room that make up America and have done great things for America. and the Democrats continue to sit. The narrative is, at all costs, hate Trump the man. Hate Trump the man. That's their mantra. That's what they repeat. And sadly, I have even family members, and they are so blinded and so indoctrinated, they can't even see you can find lots of ways to hate anybody. You can find reasons to hate Trump if you want to, but when you go so far as to sit like that and represent that hatred to our young people and spread that propaganda and spread that narrative, shame on you. And they don't realize on November 5th, 2024, people showed out and voted for Trump and said, we don't agree with you or this narrative. If they think that that's enhancing their party, we're going to stand up for, whatever this is that they're doing, which at this point is so convoluted. I do have my theories and beliefs on it, but I won't waste my time on it. I'll talk about that another time. But wow, what a representation to our youth and to our nation. They should be ashamed of themselves. These things are not even related to Trump in any way, shape, or form, and yet they sat in a protest or whatever. But not against these people. These people, they were just being recognized as Americans, but they were representing hatred for the man, Donald J. Trump. So, there's that. And then, I'm just saddened by it, actually. And I don't know, Rob. I have one more thing I'd like to say too, as far as our military goes, and as far as our police officers go. And I'm going to end with this. Having my husband, having spent 25 years as a police officer, and when I see the disdain for ICE and just our police, in particular, Tom Homan, I remember him under Biden, and I'm going to say something graphic. He was talking about being at the border while Biden was under administration, flooding our border, and a toddler had died by violent rape. And I won't tell you how that child's body ended up dying as a result of the violent rape by an illegal immigrant. But to see things like that, and you wonder why ICE is out there doing what they're doing, and our police officers, I'm going to end you with this. We, the unappreciated, and this is speaking for law enforcement and military and ICE, we, the unappreciated, must do the unimaginable and seize the unthinkable to protect the ungrateful. That's all I have to say.
All right, Kathy, thanks. Very emotional stuff. Let's get to Andy. Andy, good morning. Welcome to KDKA.
Hey, good morning, Rob. How you doing this morning? How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself, Andy?
I'm doing good. Hey, can you hear me clap? Because that's for your last caller. That call was excellent. And I'm going to be real brief this morning, but before I get to what I'm going to say this. When the president said, stand up if you believe that the first job is to protect American citizens, I stood up. Okay? When I watched that, because I did watch this time, when I watched the State of the Union, when he said that, I stood up. Okay? About the situation in Iran, yes, there may be soldiers who will die. You brought up a good point of this problem should have been handled long ago, and it's going to be worse because we're trying to handle it now. But I support our troops and I support our government, and I realize, what our troops do whenever they swear that oath and what it means. So I hope and pray for our troops, but I realize some may die, and that's hard. But the other thing is, and I'll sit back here and listen to everybody who's going to come on here and say, Trump's just doing this to deflect from Epstein, or Trump's just doing this because he's worried about the midterms, or Trump's just doing this because Rob, all those things are what I'm going to hear from your side of the aisle. Not that we should have done this long ago. Not that Iran has been a problem in the world for decades upon decades. Not that they spread terror and terrorism throughout the world. Not that they support groups that support terror. What we're going to hear from your side of the aisle is going to be Al Trump's just doing this for some inane reason because he's worried about something or other or needs to deflect from something or other. Anyway.
But Andy, before Andy, before you go,
Yes,
this is why I've only had, and I'm about to get the second one, detractors against the president, because if you have any compassion for human life, other than forget about all the horrible things they've been doing for 50 plus years, if not longer, and we may not even know about half of what they've done, these dastardly deeds, what they did to their own people should be enough to say, thank you, Mr. President. I guarantee you there are people in Iran right now who are sheltered in place praying that they survive this, but they're also saying, thank goodness this purging had to happen.
Rob, I don't doubt what you're saying there at all. And I don't think that you doubt what I said. You're going to get a bunch of people who are going to say, he's just doing this for whatever. Okay? As opposed to look, if you want to support Iran, if you think that they're the greatest thing since buttered bread, more power to you. I happen to disagree. And I'll leave it with that. Have a good morning, Rob.
All right, Andy. 866-391-1020. Anybody else who wants to get in on this massive story that we've been talking about since we hit the airwaves, now would be a chance to call. It'll probably be a topic of conversation moving forward into tomorrow and then right through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, because I think this is just the beginning. I don't think this is just a tactical or surgical strike. I think that the president is trying to completely remove this government from power. And I know it could mean more upheaval. It could cause some issues for the people of Iran trying to get back to some sort of common ground. But they've been so upside down for so long, and I think they are starting to realize that this government does not have their best interest at heart. And I think this could also be the tipping point for places like Russia and Putin and China and Ping. I think this could be the beginning of the end of communism, dictatorships as we know it. And if that is how you run your country and hold your people at bay and make them sacrifice so you can commit dastardly deeds like create nuclear weapons, there will be a price to pay. 866-391-1020. Your call's next.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDKA yesterday in the girls 1A game. It was Sarah Catholic over Geibel 47-46. Boys 2A, Swickley Academy defeated Jeanette 52-38. Girls 5A, South Fayette over Thomas Jefferson 57-38. And in the 6A boys title game, it was the Upper St. Clair Panthers over Newcastle 52-51. Today, coming up beginning at 11 o'clock, Class 2A Girls Championship action to be heard on KDKA Radio. It's top seed Neshannock taking on Winchester Thurston. At 1 o'clock, Class 3A Boys Championship, number 2 Aliquippa versus number 8 South Allegheny. At 3 o'clock, 4A Girls Championship, number 1 Blackhawk against the second-seeded Oakland Catholic. And at 5 o'clock, Class 6A Girls Championship, top-ranked Cannon Mac taking on Norwin. And at 7 o'clock tonight in the Class 5A Boys Championship, number 1 Chartiers Valley goes against number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson. Pitt taking on Cal today at 4 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. Duquesne will take on St. Louis. Penn State and Iowa tip off at noon. Robert Morris and Cleveland State, WVU and BYU. Pens and Rangers today at 12:30. Bucks and Baltimore. Bucks get a win 6-1. And coming up today at 1 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan, more spring training baseball. It's the Bucks and Houston. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Your family is always on the go, so are the Tootie trucks and technicians. Tootie has been servicing homes and businesses in the Pittsburgh area for over 35 years. Trust Tootie with your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems. Your family's comfort and safety are always their top priority. At Tootie, you're part of the family. Tootie provides superior home services with unparalleled honesty and professional courtesy. Call today, 412-499-3000. 3110.
A luxury vacation home where the only decision is pool time or beach time. Your own private indoor pool, a real movie theater, a kitchen big enough for everyone to cook together. Whether it's a deep water dock on the lake or a private path to the ocean, SWAC Vacation Rentals has the place where this summer's memories are made. And when you book direct, you skip the extra platform fees and you get the best price. Give yourself something better to look forward to this year. Let's be honest, you've earned it. Visit SWAC, SWACK vacations.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey folks, Marty here. My friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Listen to this. Stephanie from Murraysville used NASCO for minor roof repairs, storm hits, substantial damage. She calls NASCO. NASCO worked with Stephanie's insurance company, installed a beautiful brand new roof. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Stephanie. Get NASCO up on the roof. Call NASCO 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
If you need a new appliance, this is your sign. Shop at Lowe's now to get up to 35% off and next-day delivery on hundreds of major appliances. A new appliance now means an easier-to-do list later. Our best lineup is at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. Available Monday through Saturday. Subject to availability. Fees, exclusions, and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/appliance delivery for more details.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Join Rob Pratt every Sunday at 11 a.m. for Black and Gold Sunday, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer. Rob keeps you posted on Pittsburgh sports with 2 hours of exciting talk. That's Black and Gold Sunday, 11 to 1, presented each week by Coons Market.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Where Pittsburgh comes to talk. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, she's been very patient, so let's say good morning to Joanne. Joanne, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Rob. And you know, they start out talking about hate. Maybe you just don't like this man's policies. So hate continues to be in people's mouths. I don't care what. So why didn't people speak up when they booed Obama? They have short memories, you know. And I hear there's only about 30% of the people that want to join the service. Why are they still asking money for the vets? How many people are doing things for the vets that suffered and are still suffering from trying to protect this country? What about January 6th when you had supposedly patriots, Americans going in with bats and metal pipes to go after American citizens? So you can sit back. I have people in this, young men in the service. Thank goodness one got out after being in there for 20, 25 years. When he went in, he joined right after he got out of high school. And then there's I have another one that I'm really worried about. And I've been worried about ever since he's been in office, you know. So, and we had placement in our family. So it's not that I'm one of the ones that say not pay for a policeman. I don't say that. But when I listen to, if you look at Chicago and what people were doing, they don't know their history, and it's all about me, them, you know. If they know what happened to black men, there was 120 of them. This is only the tip of the iceberg, where they took and used electric probes to make these men say they did something and they didn't. So you can sit there in your high horse and talk about how wonderful your man might be, but we've had things too. We've had things go on. I don't agree with this man's policy, and I still don't do it because I didn't just watch him when he went in the office and all the dirty deeds and things he's done. And
I got to cut you off there because I got to get to a break. That's typical Joanne. You just got to let her, it's like a wind-up toy. You just got to let her go till she's done. Look, there are certain people that are not going to support this guy no matter what he does. I'm saying set the politics aside, okay? Forget about whatever you think the party line is. Just look at the human side of this and the lives that were lost just in recent weeks and months because they were protesting, letting the Iran government know while you're spending billions on creating weapons of mass destruction like nuclear weapons, we are starving. We are starving in the streets. We, the people that keep the lights burning, keep this country up and running, do the backbreaking labor, open up shops and hoping for somehow, some way, people are going to find enough money to be able to support us. We continue to go through all of the negative publicities, the years upon years, decades upon decades of mismanaged government. And we continue to realize because of the deep pockets in the oil industry, you are able to do so many things, but all you want to do is create weapons of mass destruction, hurt others, cause issues, support terrorists, and then you leave us in the lurch that we can't even have a roof over our head, clothes on our back, or food in our bellies to provide for our children because there is no work in this country that pays a livable wage. People in Iran would give anything to have our minimum wage. Another example of how we have lost faith in our own country when we don't look around the world to see the headlines and the doom and gloom that is going on every day in places like Iran. You know, maybe if we would walk in the shoes of the Iranian people for more than a week or two, we would come running back to the United States, kissing the ground that we stand on, and more importantly, supporting our democracy. This is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is a human rights issue. This is a human issue. It's about the human race that I'm talking about here. And the Iranian people have suffered enough, and that government in Iran has made the world literally sit on pins and needles and live in fear. That has to come to an end. The president knows it, and I think that's why we're dealing with this story today. All right, stay tuned. News coming up next. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert.
So since our Odyssey sports director is in Indianapolis, when Jeff joins us,
I'll only invite about 30 for the draft, maybe a few more to be in person for the draft. The people that live in Pittsburgh will be there, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys, show up. And the next big event is in our city.
And we're looking forward to it.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk, having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer, too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So, call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com, all one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Larry Richert for CertaPro Painters. For more than a decade, I've been working with CertaPro Painters, doing great work for me, and now is the time. Get a free estimate, get on the schedule at the right price. You never have to wonder what's next with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg with 6 Pittsburgh locations, always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio. Looking for a unique night out in Pittsburgh? Don't miss Pop Couture, Fashion, Fame, and Obsession. It's a high-energy mix of dance, music, and jaw-dropping style, making its Heinz Hall debut Monday, April 20th. Part of Pittsburgh Earth Day's Ecolution Gala. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghearthday.org/ecolution.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Keeping up with bills can be tough, but you don't have to do it alone. Duquesne Light Company's Customer Assistant Program helps income-qualified customers lower their monthly electric bills. The employees at Duquesne Light realize these are difficult times, and they're committed to supporting our communities. Applying is simple. Just visit DuquesneLight.com/CAP and apply online. Don't wait. See if you qualify today. At Duquesne Light Company, they are here to help when you need it most.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hola, amigos. Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night, starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
Ready to start thinking like Wall Street without leaving Main Street? Tune in Sunday mornings at 6:30 for a slice of advice with Kelton Burgess, right here on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 40 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. President Trump has announced that the U.S. military has begun major combat operations in Iran. Witnesses today have reported hearing heavy explosions across the capital, Tehran, and Trump says Iran keeps pursuing nuclear work and missile development, and he warns that U.S. casualties are possible. Here's Trump speaking earlier this morning about the attacks.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Military operation against Iran is joined by Israel, and the operation could last several days with potential targets including Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps military sites, also government buildings, Iranian intelligence assets, and defense installations. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this breaking story. Pittsburgh police arrested a woman involved in a domestic situation that turned into a car chase. Police say the incident began Friday night in McKees Rocks, where a woman was involved in a domestic incident involving a gun. That's when a chase ensued, ending up with the woman crossing into the city of Pittsburgh by going over the McKees Rocks Bridge, then crashing along Brighton Road in Brighton Heights. Police say she ran from that scene, but they caught up with the woman, now identified as Anaya Moore. It's unclear the details of the initial domestic incident in McKees Rocks. Well, the new Pittsburgh-based documentary, The Football Town, premieres today at the Kamen Science Center. The film covers football from youth leagues to high school, college, and the professional game. Visit Pittsburgh President and CEO Jared Bacher says the film has sparked a debate on social media.
The debate is on how we spelled town. Some of the fans have insisted that the town should have been spelled T-A-H-N instead, but we couldn't get NFL Films to take that direction, unfortunately.
Football Town was produced by NFL Films, U.S. Steel, and Visit Pittsburgh. The 50-minute documentary features appearances by Steelers legends Bill Cowher, Jerome Bettis, Joey Porter Sr., James Harrison, and others, and it's narrated by Pittsburgh area native, Plum native, Pat McAfee. KDKA Radio News Time, 7:03. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Good Nature Organic Lawn Care provides organic lawn, tree, and shrub care that actually makes sense. It's created for kids, pets, and your peace of mind. Because a great lawn shouldn't come with warning labels. No harsh chemicals, no second guessing. Just greener grass the natural way. Want to know why organic is the smarter choice for your yard and your family? Get the facts and services online at whygoodnature.com. Good Nature Organic Lawn Care. Good for your lawn. Better for everything living on it.
Planning for retirement isn't easy. If you don't know where to start, join Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors every Saturday at 1 for the Net Worth Financial Hour. Beth shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 1 to the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors. Net Worth Advisors, LLC, is a registered investment advisor.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have clouds and sun today, a nice afternoon with a high up to 57. Cloudy tonight with a little snow and rain at times late. No accumulation, low down to 29. Mostly cloudy and colder tomorrow, high 37. Bit of snow on Monday, high up to 39. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we're so happy to have her back. Dr. Dawn Spalla, of course, the Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine, dealing with neuropathy. We're going to give you all sorts of information that you can use to get better. Now, she sounds as though that she's under the weather, but she's not. She actually feels okay, but she just has one of those late winter, where did my voice go? You know, Doc, it's great to have you, and you're a real trooper for coming in today, but you're not the first person that I have seen go through this. No pain, no sniffles, nothing, no fever, just a voice that disappeared, huh?
Yep. Sorry. I hope people can understand me today.
They can understand you. All right, so I guess I'm going to have to carry the load, but this is what I do, folks. I'm good at it. I've been doing it a long time. So let's just begin talking a little bit about the Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine, who you are, you and your husband, and that great staff as you continue to grow, and you're actually in a brand spanking new building as we speak. So talk about your wonderful group of people.
Yeah. Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. We're a small, family-owned and operated business. My husband and I started 9 years ago, and we just moved into our beautiful new building in Natrona Heights. And we've been specializing in treating neuropathy. We're a chiropractic group, so we believe in all things health and wellness. And We are all about family, and maybe it's coming back with me talking. We're all about family. We're all about health. We're all about wellness, and we're all about results.
Well, results you do get. But then a funny thing happened on the way to all the holistic medicine and the great stuff in the way of chiropractic care, which they do all of that. You decided to help people with neuropathy, which is a horrific disease. Many suffer, and we'll explain what it is and everything behind it and what they're doing with lasers and so much more. But how in the world did you stumble into now helping people with neuropathy?
Yeah, if you have patients that have sciatica or disc injuries, and they're radiating into the legs and into the feet, there's a lot of crossover there, where some of the issues can be happening from the spine, but some of those issues can be happening from a neuropathy. Now, neuropathy diagnoses have been growing over the past 10 years because of type 2 diabetes, because of other spinal traumas, because of chemotherapy, right? But treatment for neuropathy is not where it should be as far as mainstream medicine goes. We have medications and we have pills, but we don't have anything really getting people's lives back. And so in treating spines, my husband and I said, hey, there are things out there that people don't know about that treat neuropathy pain and get patients back to standing and walking, going to the beach, playing with their grandkids. And so it's about getting quality of life back for these patients who feel like they don't have any left.
Well, if you look at the history of what you were educated in, you and your husband and members of your staff, it's about letting the body do what it was meant to do, heal itself and also maintain itself. And you get the blood flow going again. And once the blood flow starts flowing and that oxygen with it, well, your regular system, that gift that we've been all given from that very first breath of life, starts to really repair and fix itself. So to me, that's the key to the kingdom, I think.
Yeah, I think anybody who's seen in our office, whether it's neck pain or back pain or neuropathy, our goal is to treat the cause, to determine the cause and treat the cause versus just giving something that covers up the symptom and never gets function back.
Dr. Dawn Spalla, Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. We're going to tell you everything you need to know, who, what, when, where, why, and how they can help you. But why do you think a lot of people listening right now are going to say, after we start talking about some of the symptoms, that's what I have, but a lot of people still don't even understand what neuropathy is. They just think, well, I'm getting older now. This is just what happens.
I don't think it's reviewed by PCPs very, very well. I've had patients report to their PCPs either through an app or an email that they have tingling and numbness. There's no physical exam that's done. There's no questionnaire that's done. And they're just prescribed medication over an email. And we don't know what's causing it. And that can be dangerous. So I guess for us, seeing people suffer and not getting results is literally heartbreaking. So we want to be there to change it.
Well, you know, it's funny, but when you think about getting a regular exam or checkup, which we all do, and especially the older we get, that really doesn't come up in the conversation that much.
No, and then, like, I've talked about this before, but the 5 most dangerous words in healthcare are, maybe it will go away. So sometimes it's something that you don't even want to report. Sometimes it's scary to say, hey, I have tingling and numbness and I don't know what's causing it. And so a lot of patients don't report it. A lot of people with type 2 diabetes have neuropathy, but they either don't want to admit it or they don't want to acknowledge the beginning symptoms of it.
The other thing that happens as you age out through life, you wake up and you think, oh, I slept wrong. And then Monday goes to Sunday. And I think you have witnessed this being a young person with a young family. The older you get, it truly does go by quicker. And the next thing you know, one day you're having a difficult time and you start thinking, well, I've had this for like the last year and I haven't done, maybe I better check it out. And if you go to your PCP and they say, well, you could have neuropathy, you could have, They basically prescribe a medicine that is nothing more than a Band-Aid. And if you know anything about prescription drugs, if you take any prescription drug long enough, your immune system builds up an immunity to it. But more importantly, that's why they save the last few seconds of every ad for every prescription to talk about side effects. And if you're taking something on a regular basis long enough, Doc, there are going to be side effects.
Yeah, and I think a little bit later in the show, we can talk a little bit more in depth about gabapentin.
Right.
That is the main medication that is used to, quote, treat neuropathy, but it doesn't really treat it. It just covers up the symptoms with a very high risk of side effects.
All right, before we come back and start drilling down on what it is and what they're doing, tell them how they can get a hold of you and your locations. And really, if you are dealing with this, or as we unfold the hour and you're starting to think that maybe you are dealing with this, sooner is better as far as finding out what they can do for you. Go ahead.
So you're going to call or text 724-224-2224. Now, if you text that number this morning, I can get back to you right away. Texting will be better today.
Much better today.
I know. I don't know what kind of conversations I'll be able to have on the phone.
You can text back and
So
forth, though.
call and leave me a message. I think this will be better by Monday. Or text me, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. Like the doctor will actually respond to you today.
I hear you in there. You keep coming out.
I know little snippets of my voice.
But let's explain here, because clinically we're always looking for answers. Just, you had an ice dam, had some people come in, and you get these humidifiers, and listen, when that furnace kicks on, I'll tell you what I've done. You know the old nightcaps that people used to sleep in? Because I was waking up every morning with my eyes just because of the ductwork and all of the stuff that comes through there.
Yeah.
So I basically started covering my eyes. And it's like waking up to a new life, being able to see again. So when you're enclosed or hermetically sealed in the wintertime in your house, it's not good.
Yeah. Water was coming in through the seal of our window in my master bathroom.
Not good.
So a company came in and ripped out that wall and ripped out all of the insulation and put in all the tubes because water had gotten in and started creating cracks and leaks. And so for the past 2 nights, my house has been running with these commercial dehumidifiers and heaters to get the moisture out.
Oh my!
And I think those machines sucked my voice out.
Those two combinations, yeah, that's like when carpet gets wet and stuff. I've had those contractor size. I mean, it's like a wind tunnel.
Yeah,
I get it. But there's something wrong with me because I actually kind of like that sound. It kind of calms me down a little bit. All right, we're going to come back. She's a real trooper. So happy she's here today. 724-224-2224. You can text that number. She'll get back to you in real time, get you set up, get in there. And if you have something they can deal with, they're going to deal with it. But if they can't, they're going to tell you. You're going to be up front. All right, we'll come back. Allegheny Health Physical Medicine, Dr. Don Spalla for Saturday morning KDKA.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDKA yesterday in the girls 1A game. It was Sarah Catholic over Geibel 47-46. Boys 2A, Swickley Academy defeated Jeanette 52-38. Girls 5A, South Fayette over Thomas Jefferson 57-38. And in the 6A boys title game, it was the Upper St. Clair Panthers over Newcastle 52-51. Today, coming up beginning at 11 o'clock, Class 2A Girls Championship action to be heard on KDKA Radio. It's top seed Neshannock taking on Winchester Thurston. At 1 o'clock, Class 3A Boys Championship, number 2 Aliquippa versus number 8 South Allegheny. At 3 o'clock, 4A Girls Championship, number 1 Blackhawk against the second-seeded Oakland Catholic. And at 5 o'clock, Class 6A Girls Championship, top-ranked Cannon Mac taking on Norwin. And at 7 o'clock tonight in the Class 5A Boys Championship, number 1 Chartiers Valley goes against number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson. Pitt taking on Cal today at 4 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. Duquesne will take on St. Louis, Penn State, and Iowa tip-off at noon. Robert Morris and Cleveland State, WVU and BYU. Pens and Rangers today at 12:30. Bucks and Baltimore. Bucks get a win 6-1. And coming up today at 1 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan, more spring training baseball. It's the Bucks and Houston. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
This is Greg Truzinski of the Original Mattress Factory. Recently, the owner of a large mattress retailer was proudly sharing how over 65% of their queen mattress prices are $15.99 or higher. At the Original Mattress Factory, our focus is a little bit different. We build superior quality mattresses right here in town and do our best to save you as much money as possible. That's why at OMF, nearly 80% of our queen mattresses are lower than those prices others brag about. Stop in or check out originalmattress.com to learn more.
Customers often ask, what's the right mattress for me? At the Original Mattress Factory, our answer is always the same. It's all about personal preference. You should select the one that feels right to you because there isn't a one-mattress-fits-all solution. That's why we offer a selection of quality and comfort choices for every preference. And our sales team will help you find the right product for your specific needs. At the Original Mattress Factory, we have the right mattress for just about everyone. Stop by to find yours today.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The following is paid for by Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, back with Dr. Dawn Spalla, Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. We're going to get into the backdrop that is neuropathy and how they're helping people, but they've got a workshop coming up in Sarver Tuesday at 1. She's going to tell you all about it, and then we shall get into how they can help you if you're dealing with neuropathy.
So, booking an appointment or going into an office for a consultation can be a daunting experience, especially with neuropathy, because you don't know if you have it. You don't know what the recommendations are going to be. So every month we hold a free workshop, and ours coming up is Tuesday, March. It's March 4th. It's going to be March already. March 4th at 1 o'clock at our Sarver location. It is free. It is kind of open concept, so you can come, hear what we have to say. My voice should be back. I'm hoping by then. Ask questions, hear what treatments can be versus mainstream medical and what we have to offer. But I would invite everyone who's listening who has a question about neuropathy to send me a text at that 724-224-2224 number. Text me RSVP, and we'll hold your spot for that workshop.
All right, so now let's get down to it. So we talked about neuropathy. You mentioned diabetes. That's the real trigger. I mean, that's just the reason many people have it, but there are other reasons too. Just kind of give us a once-over what it does and what causes neuropathy.
So there are over 100 different causes of neuropathy. Most common are spinal injuries, degenerative disc disease, degenerative joint disease, type 2 diabetes, undiagnosed diabetes. We have thyroid issues. We have chemotherapy, and sometimes toxicity. So think of your people in the coal mines, right? Heavy metal toxicity or that type of interaction. All of those things can cause neuropathy. It's important to know the cause because then we can treat it better. What we do in our office is we do a complete evaluation. So orthopedically, neurologically, we do sensation testing. And then we can determine the cause of your neuropathy. And then we can treat it better, right? When we look at treatment for neuropathy in mainstream medicine, that comes down to 4 medications. We have gabapentin, Neurontin, Cymbalta, and Lyrica. Rob, did you know that gabapentin is an anticonvulsant?
I did not.
Gabapentin is a medication that they use to decrease or prevent seizures in people with seizure disorders like epilepsy. Okay? Gabapentin was never designed to take away pain. It's designed to intensely calm down the nervous system so we're not getting nervous system impulses, right? So when that medication is given to people with neuropathy, it decreases the sensation that they feel, but it does nothing to improve balance. It does nothing to improve function. And honestly, from all of my patients that I've seen on gabapentin, it causes a lot of sleepiness, grogginess. You know, don't operate a vehicle, don't operate heavy machinery if you're taking it. And honestly, also, once you're on it for neuropathy, it's a forever drug. So once you're on it for neuropathy, they want you to keep taking it forever. And that's not the quality of life that we want our patients to have.
No, listen. Everybody has to understand that if you're on anything long enough, there are going to be side effects. And you have to believe if you put a drug like that in your system, when it's not in your system to do what it's supposed to do, there's got to be issues down the road. I mean, I just don't see how that helps. A lot of these clinical studies, they'll find a drug that they have for one thing actually works for another thing. But to be quite honest with you, to me, that just doesn't seem the right path to take.
It's all about functionality at our office.
Motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion. We got to restore function. 2 things, all of you listening today, okay? If you can hear me, literally. Number 1, you were designed to be healthy. And number 2, the power that made the body heals the body. So a lot of people are able to recover from this. They just haven't taken the steps and they don't know about the right steps that can be done to come back from a diagnosis of neuropathy.
So this seminar coming up Tuesday,
Yes.
March 3rd at 1 o'clock at Sarver. It's free.
It's free.
Okay, I just want to make sure that people understand that.
Totally free.
But we want to know if you're going to be there. That's why you have to text her at that number.
We serve food. So if you want to come get some goodies and some good treats, I'm a foodie. But all of our workshops, we serve you like a lunch. And so we want you to come in, have lunch with us, sit down with us, ask all your questions, and see if it's something that's for you.
That text number is 724-224-2224. Again, seminar, workshop, neuropathy, free, Tuesday, Sarver location, March 3rd at 1 o'clock, 724-224-2224. So let's get real here in the final minute before we come back and start talking about the treatment. Have you seen people throw away their walkers? Have you seen people throw away their canes?
Yes.
Their corrective footwear?
Yes. People will come into the office after a few visits, and I'm like, where's your cane? And they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot it in the car. Like, there's these processes that happen that they start regaining the feeling back, right? It doesn't feel like they're walking on glass anymore. It doesn't feel like their feet are marshmallows anymore, and they can actually balance. And they improve so beautifully with what we do.
You see, that's the biggest problem with neuropathy. I mean, I know the pain and everything else that you go through, the restless feet, no sleep, but balance, I'm telling you, everyone that I've talked to, that is one of the biggest problems they deal with, just maintaining their balance because they can't feel the ground underneath their feet.
Yeah. One of the scary things about neuropathy is that it decreases balance. And people with neuropathy have an increased risks of slip and falls and having to enter a nursing home.
It's not good. All right, so make that text or call 724-224-2224. Be a part of that free workshop Tuesday, 1 o'clock in Sarver. We'll come back now that we've kind of set the stage and told you about neuropathy, or maybe you're discovering right now as you're listening that this may be something you're dealing with. We're going to talk about the unique and scientific approach that they've taken at the Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine locations here in Pittsburgh and how they are making a difference and how they can make a difference for you. 724-224-2224. We shall be right back.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes for free in the app, because free shouldn't cost $15.99. Right? Free Tax USA? Or is it cost $15.99 Tax USA? Switch to TurboTax and file free. Free state, free federal, 100% free, 100% guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes in the app for free by 2/28. Excludes TurboTax expert products. $15.99 charge from Free Tax USA is for state taxes.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Retirement, it's almost here. Are you ready? Well, join Kurt Kanodik and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group for your retirement blueprint. Let Kurt and Ethan help you plan for your retirement dreams. Don't miss your retirement blueprint, Sundays at 10. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page, or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 40 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. President Trump announced the U.S. military has begun major combat operations in Iran. Witnesses today have reported heavy explosions being heard across the capital, Tehran. And Trump says Iran keeps pursuing nuclear work and missile development, and he warns that during these operations, U.S. casualties are possible.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Military operation against Iran by the U.S. is a joint effort with Israel. The operation could last several days, with potential targets including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps military sites, government buildings, Iranian intelligence assets, as well as defense installations. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this breaking story. Governor Josh Shapiro announcing a new plan to combat potentially dangerous information shared by artificial intelligence. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
In a meeting at Carnegie's Boys and Girls Club, Shapiro said he wants to crack down on AI chatbots providing mental health counseling to students. He and his staff downloaded a popular app, and he was shocked by what it said.
And I said in the chat, I'm struggling with my mental health. Are you someone that I can talk to? And this chatbot writes back, or types back, whatever, yes.
And when they told the app they needed to speak to a licensed medical professional, the app said it was one. A task force at the Department of State will share information on problem apps with the Attorney General's office to take any appropriate legal action. David Colorado News Radio, KDKA.
A new Robotics Innovation Center officially opened Friday morning in Hazelwood Green. It brings Carnegie Mellon University's robotics research and leading tech companies into one facility. Governor Shapiro joined Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor and other officials in that ribbon cutting on Friday. The three-story facility will give CMU students space for building and developing robots. There's also an in-ground pool where researchers can test underwater technology. KDK Radio News Time at 7:33. We have the AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania is committed to the communities they serve, ensuring that all their customers stay safe and warm in their homes during the cold winter months. To ensure that no one goes without heat when the temperatures drop, Columbia Gas offers energy efficiency and bill payment assistance programs to make their customers' lives easier. To learn more about the valuable services available through Columbia Gas, call 1-888-460-4332 or visit online at columbiagaspa.com.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here. Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There will be a mixture of clouds and sun today. A nice afternoon with a high up to 57. Cloudy tonight, a touch of rain or snow at times late with a low down to 29. Mostly cloudy and colder tomorrow with a high of 37. Bit of snow, little or no accumulation on Monday, high up to 39. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Dr. Dawn Spall is here. They've got a workshop for neuropathy. It's free Tuesday in Sarver at 1 o'clock. I just want to know if you're coming or not. Call or text. You can do it today. Don't put it off. 724-224-2224. 724-224-2224. Now, we've kind of explained what it is, but we're going to talk about why they are a real difference maker because of the scientific procedures that they're doing every day. Go ahead.
So, when we look at neuropathy, nerves have started to regress, or they've started to become dormant because they're not getting the blood flow and the nutrition that they need to recover. The medications approved to, quote, treat neuropathy pain don't get nutrition back to those nerves either. So we have to do something that stimulates those nerves from the inside out. That's why we specialize in class 4 laser therapy. Okay? Class 4 laser therapy is the most powerful tool out there currently to help patients with neuropathy recover. Even more so than red light therapy. Now, I know that there's some offices out there who specialize in these red light therapy boots or red light therapy panels, which red light can be beneficial, but it doesn't actually get to the root of the nerve. So red light therapy only reaches skin deep, whereas laser therapy penetrates about 8 centimeters into the tissues to really stimulate that nerve and blood flow to help recovery. In our treatment with laser is not something that you have to do forever. Okay? It's not like you purchase a laser and you have to do laser every single day. There's a treatment protocol for the types of neuropathy that exist. That's why it's important to come in and get checked so that our doctors and experts can determine what that treatment plan looks like. Okay?
So I guess to kind of explain, it's kind of like, you have a potted plant, you start to water it, it kind of grows, right?
Exactly. You can even compare laser to sunlight, right? All of us are so excited. I was excited driving to work here today because the sun was coming up, and it seems like it's been dark for so long, right? The sun makes us produce vitamin D, and becoming warm helps us to increase our blood flow. Same thing with laser. Laser helps get our cells nutrition, and it increases blood flow and oxygenation to the nerves so that they start to recover. Not only that, but when my husband and I had the opportunity to choose what we wanted in our office to treat neuropathy pain, deciding between red light therapy and laser was a no-brainer, because looking at the actual published research, laser beats red light therapy every single time.
Why do you think that is, Doc?
Because I know red light therapy only penetrates about 5 millimeters into the skin. So it's very superficial.
And we have like 10 layers or something of skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But then you have, layers of fat and layers of muscle and layers of fascia. And laser therapy penetrates 8 centimeters. So we're looking at a comparison that's
night and day.
Tremendous, right? Not only that, but laser isn't just for neuropathy. Laser is great for degenerative disc disease. Combined with chiropractic care, that's how we're getting the great results in our office. So laser's not just for neuropathy. We use it for sprain strains. We use it for sports injuries. Every single Major League Baseball team has a Class 4 laser in their locker room.
Oh, I don't think a lot of people realize, but I have a lot of friends who are chiropractors, and I've learned, 8 years of college, you have to know pretty much every muscle, every bone, every, you name it, every layer of everything in the human body. I mean, you spend literally years learning every nook and cranny.
I could bust out my flashcards from school because we have to know every single muscle, where it attaches, where it starts from,
the purpose,
and the specific nerve that gives that muscle power. We have to know that for every single muscle in the human body.
Do you think sometimes that we've polluted our body so much with antibiotics and prescription drugs that we have stopped our body from doing what our body was meant to do?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the issue with opioids, right? The opioid crisis. Not only did people get addicted to opioids, but when we look at opioids and the side effects that it causes, it slows down gut motility, right? So people on opioids, even if it's controlled, they get very constipated. Mm-hmm. And so now they're taking Miralax twice a day, and they're on prescription medications to get them to go to the bathroom. And then they have stomach pain, and then they have acid reflux because of it. So don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place, and medical doctors definitely have a purpose in this world. That's not what I'm saying. But our world, especially in America, we're very over-medicated because we don't give our bodies the chances and the time that they need to recover.
Follow a lot of chiropractors, with basic maintenance and what they do, adjusting people on social media, because I find it fascinating, new techniques, old techniques. But isn't it kind of frightening to think that for many, many generations, to control pain or to deal with chronic pain, as they call it, lifelong chronic pain, people were getting regular prescriptions of opioids.
Yeah.
Which is damaging everything else, plus the addictive factor.
Right.
But that's how they dealt. Okay, you're back. You still have that. Let me give you a prescription.
Well, that, and like, if you have neuropathy or if you have chronic low back pain, you have an 80% risk of chronic depression going with that, right? And how do you feel when you're depressed? Well, you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to do any activity. That promotes to weight gain. That promotes being sedentary, right? It's this terrible, circle.
Vicious circle.
Yeah, that happens if we don't do if we don't have the appropriate action. So, anybody who's listening, like tingling, numbness, burning in the feet, difficulty sleeping at night, I understand. Okay, I understand that it's a burden, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I want you to call. Again, either call or text 724-224-2224. And here's the thing. We're going to offer you a free gift today. A consultation in our office for neuropathy is usually 60 to 90 minutes long. And it's usually $250 because it's so detailed. We're going to give away 5 of those appointments for free today. But you have to call or text. Now, calling, right? I'm not necessarily able to answer the phone so great today. So I want you to call and leave a message, and we'll get back to you right away. But you can also text that number today, and I will get back to you right away. 724-224-2224 for that free gift of a free consultation, or call or text to reserve your spot for our free workshop, because people who come to our workshop also get a free gift.
All right, absolutely love it. In the meantime, to close out the whole topic of prescription drugs, I've even read studies and talked to people that they believe that long use of opioids can actually cause neuropathy too.
Yes.
So we've never really touched that, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who have been prescribed legally opioids because of chronic pain and now may find themselves with neuropathy. They can help you at the Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. And we'll be back with more with Dr. Don Spalla right after this. Stay with us.
We're only 54 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. News Radio KDKA Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDKA yesterday in the girls 1A game. It was Sarah Catholic over Geibel 47-46. Boys 2A, Swickley Academy defeated Jeanette 52-38. Girls 5A, South Fayette over Thomas Jefferson 57-38. And in the 6A boys title game, it was the Upper St. Clair Panthers over Newcastle 52-51. Today, coming up beginning at 11 o'clock, Class 2A Girls Championship action to be heard on KDK Radio. It's top seed Neshannock taking on Winchester Thurston. At 1 o'clock, Class 3A Boys Championship, number 2 Aliquippa versus number 8 South Allegheny. At 3 o'clock, 4A Girls Championship, number 1 Blackhawk against the second-seeded Oakland Catholic. And at 5 o'clock, Class 6A Girls Championship, top-ranked Cannon Mac taking on Norwin. And at 7 o'clock tonight in the Class 5A Boys Championship, number 1 Chartiers Valley goes against number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson. Pitt taking on Cal today at 4 o'clock, 93.7 The Fan. Duquesne will take on St. Louis. Penn State and Iowa tip off at noon. Robert Morris and Cleveland State, WVU and BYU. Penns and Rangers today at 12:30. Bucks and Baltimore. Bucks get a win 6-1. And coming up today at 1 o'clock on 93.7 The Fan, more spring training baseball. It's the Bucks and Houston. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. I've been a customer for over a decade. Why? Because the professional work CertaPro Painters does protects your home, quality paint, worry-free process, free estimates. That's why I've relied on CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market Team when they discuss recipes featuring the incredible egg. It's the Coons Cooking Hour presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
Folks, Marty here. My friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Scott from Aspinwall, amazed at NASCO's quality, honesty, work ethic, craftsmanship. Scott loved working with NASCO, appreciated that NASCO doesn't use high-pressure sales tactics like other companies. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Scott. Get NASCO, 412-373-2000. Get them on your roof, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Having trouble keeping up with your electric bill? Duquesne Light Company can help customers manage costs through their Customer Assistance Program. Flexible payment plans, budget billing, rebates, and more. Duquesne Light realizes these are difficult times, and they are all committed to supporting our communities. Discover how you can save money and stay comfortable in your home year-round by visiting DuquesneLight.com/assistance. That's DuquesneLight.com/assistance.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Ready to start thinking like Wall Street without leaving Main Street? Tune in Sunday mornings at 6:30 for a slice of advice with Kelton Burgess. Right here on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we're down to our final few minutes with Dr. Don Spall, Allegheny Health Physical Medicine, Sarver, 1 o'clock Tuesday, March 3rd, free workshop on neuropathy. Here's how you can be a part of it. It's free, but they just want to make sure they know who's coming. They've got some food and goodies for you and great conversation and consultation. And she's also got a special offer on the table to get that consult and saving a lot of money, too. So she's going to give you all of that, and then we'll kind of reset the bar and go back and kind of reiterate if you're just joining us. And if you're dealing with neuropathy or you think you have neuropathy, how they can help you with the Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. Go ahead.
So, if you have tingling, numbness, burning, anything like that, that could be neuropathy, or even if you've been diagnosed with neuropathy and it's progressing and you're tired of not seeing results, the workshop is something that you can come to. Meet our team, meet our physicians, meet our specialists, hear a little bit more about what we have to offer before you decide to book an appointment. No obligation whatsoever. It's a free workshop and we feed you lunch, okay? I highly encourage you, if you're even thinking about it, come to the workshop. Tuesday, March 3rd, 1 o'clock in Sarver. If you're like, okay, I like what I'm hearing. I'm tired of living life confined to my house because of my neuropathy, and you want to schedule an appointment, we are giving away 5, but now it's 3 because I had 2 people already request an appointment. We have 3 spots left for a free consultation. Okay. 60 to 90 minutes with our team of detailed testing and evaluations to determine if you have neuropathy, what the cause is, and what the best route of treatment is going to be going from there. So, again, you can call 724-224-2224 that you will leave a message, okay? We have 2 locations to choose from, either Natrona Heights or Sarver. Call and leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But if you want to text the 724-224-2224, obviously, today I'll do better with text messages instead of talking. But if you text that number, I will reserve one of those spots for you and I'll follow up with you to get that scheduled today. Again, usually a $250 charge, but if you call, it'll be free.
Not to put fear into the hearts of people who are struggling enough, but if you just leave this go alone and basically let it charter its own course, the older you get, the worse it will get, and the end result can be very bad.
Yes, it is a progressive disorder. So when you don't do anything about it, right, that tingling and numbness can work its way into the feet, into the calves. People lose their ability to feel balanced. People lose their ability to drive a car.
And that can be scary when you can't feel the gas pedal or brake pedal.
Absolutely. And then losing your independence. I don't know what's scarier than that. I mean, this can happen in your 50s and your 60s where you don't feel comfortable driving. Somebody has to drive you to all of your appointments. You know, you can't go out when it's icy because you can't feel the ground. It's a terrible burden to live with. And myself and my team are here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way.
All right, so in closing, let's talk about this workshop, and let's really try to get those last 3 slots filled up, why this is so essential, why this is so important, and why it's a window of opportunity to actually find out what is going on. Go ahead.
So neuropathy is debilitating, and so many of you are sitting out there now, and it can be combined with low back pain. So low back pain, sciatica, pain radiating down a leg, tingling and numbness, all of those things are not normal. It's not normal. You were designed to be healthy and you were designed to feel good. So if your experience in trying to determine what the issues are and find treatment that's actually beneficial and works, that is something that we offer our patients every single day.
And in closing, I want people to know when it comes to chiropractic care, you do it all.
We do. So myself, my husband, Dr. Zach Smith, Dr. Zach Petrak, and Dr. MJ. All of us have our Class 4 laser certification and our neuropathy certification on top of us already being doctors of chiropractic. We specialize in decompression. So non-surgical, non-invasive, no medications, no injections. Great solutions for so many people that are out there.
You know, maybe it's been around forever, but for some reason, I've been hearing that word decompression a lot.
Yeah.
I have in recent weeks. I don't know. I just have. Listen, thank you. I hope you get your voice back real soon.
Me too.
She will. She's a fighter, folks. Believe me, she's a fighter. All right, stay with us. News coming up, and then a best of edition of Secure Money Advisors on the Money. Big story, military operations underway in Iran, the U.S., and Israel. So we have the latest throughout the day, of course, with CBS Radio News as well. Stay with us.
The proceeding was paid for by Allegheny Health and Physical Medicine. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert.
So since our Odyssey sports director is in Indianapolis, when Jeff joins us,
I'll only invite about 30 for the draft, maybe a few more to be in person for the draft. The people that live in Pittsburgh will be there, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys, show up. And the next big event is in our city.
And we're looking forward to it.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Good Nature Organic Lawn Care provides organic lawn, tree, and shrub care that actually makes sense. It's created for kids, pets, and your peace of mind. Because a great lawn shouldn't come with warning labels. No harsh chemicals, no second guessing. Just greener grass the natural way. Want to know why organic is the smarter choice for your yard and your family? Get the facts and services online at whygoodnature.com. Good Nature Organic Lawn Care. Good for your lawn. Better for everything living on it.
Hi, Paul Alexander with some breaking news. This September, head west with me for a 5-day Arizona adventure based in beautiful Flagstaff, where cool mountain air and wide open skies still mean something. From there, we'll explore Sedona's Red Rock Country, where freedom feels as big as the views. Stand at the edge of the Grand Canyon, one of America's greatest natural treasures, and take in the crystal blue waters of Lake Powell, carved by time, grit, and nature, not Washington bureaucrats. 5 days, one unforgettable trip, history, adventure, and American beauty, all without the crowds or summer heat. September's the perfect time to go, and these spots will fill up quickly. Don't wait. Give Cruise and Tour a call. Travel with KDKA.com to book your Arizona escape and see firsthand what makes this country worth exploring. Call 800-383-3131 or go to travelwithkdk.com for all the details and to reserve your spot. That's 800-383-3131 or travelwithkdk.com.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
Why deal with crowded hotels and packed pools when you can have the whole place to yourself? At SWAC Vacation Rentals, some homes come with private lazy rivers, indoor pools, massive game rooms, and outdoor kitchens built for the whole crew. These aren't hotel rooms, they're private vacation playgrounds, managed by us, cared for by us, and ready when you arrive. And when you book direct, you keep more of your vacation budget where it belongs with you. Find your unforgettable stay at SWAC. SWACK Vacations.com. That's SWACVacations.com.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like payroll manager.
Hi, my last paycheck was all in Icelandic krona.
You are welcome.
Welcome?
Given the exchange rate between the dollar and the krona, you're technically a millionaire now. Don't spend it all in one place.
I can't really spend it anywhere.
There's always Iceland.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 41 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. President Trump announced the U.S. military has begun major combat operations in Iran. Witnesses today have reported hearing and seeing heavy explosions across the Iranian capital, Tehran. Trump says Iran keeps pursuing nuclear work and missile development. He warns that U.S. casualties are possible.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Military operation against Iran by the U.S. is joined by Israel. Operation could last several days. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this developing story. Pittsburgh police arrested a woman who was involved in a domestic situation turned car chase. Police say the incident began Friday night in McKees Rocks, where a woman was involved in a domestic incident involving a gun. A chase ensued, ending up with a woman crossing into the city of Pittsburgh by going over the McKees Rocks Bridge, then crashing along Brighton Road in Brighton Heights. Police say she ran from that scene, but they caught up with her, now identified as Anaya Moore. Right now, still unclear the exact details of that initial domestic incident that occurred in McKees Rocks. Well, Governor Shapiro has announced a new plan to combat potentially dangerous information shared by artificial intelligence. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
In a meeting at Carnegie's Boys and Girls Club, Shapiro said he wants to crack down on AI chatbots providing mental health counseling to students. He and his staff downloaded a popular app, and he was shocked by what it said.
And I said in the chat, I'm struggling with my mental health. Are you someone that I can talk to? And this chatbot writes back, or types back, whatever, yes.
And when they told the app they needed to speak to a licensed medical professional, the app said it was one. A task force at the Department of State will share information on problem apps with the Attorney General's office to take any appropriate legal action. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.
The new Pittsburgh-based documentary, The Football Town, premieres today at the Kamen Science Center. The film covers football youth from youth leagues, or football from youth leagues to high school, also college and the professional game. Visit Pittsburgh President and CEO Jared Bacher says the film has sparked a debate on social media.
The debate is on how we spelled town. Some of the fans have insisted that the town should have been spelled T-A-H-N instead, but we couldn't get NFL Films to take that direction, unfortunately.
Football Town was produced by NFL Films,